Good morning, traders. How we doing out there? The markets are moving fast as we get PPI to come in here, guys. So be careful out there. Quick little drop there. And I think this is going to be an opportunity here for the bulls. But the question is, how bad do the numbers come in here with PPI? It's starting to be the focus today. We'll get into the sunrise report. We'll get to the playbook today. A lot of it will depend on this action. So let's take a look at what's going on right now as we speak and taking a look to see what's going on here. And there's a lot of action, right? I mean, you guys can see it here on the tape. We're definitely seeing a nice little kind of move here in the SPY. Let's take a look at the action here. First up, we'll just take a look at this as we're seeing the SPY really kind of move fast here. And I'm going to go to a 1 minute chart just to kind of give us a nice little help. You guys know I've been trying to avoid those 1 minute charts, but let's take a look here. You guys can see the SPY dropping fast here on this report. And now I need to take a look to see what were the numbers that actually came in. So here's the PPI numbers, and you guys can take a look at this. Of course, you guys can use Benzinga Pro for this, as PPI comes in for August at 1.7 versus a 1.8 estimate. So seeing that come down, not necessarily a good thing, as you guys are seeing the reaction from the market. And the month over month at a negative, at a 0.2 versus a 0.1 estimate. So that's at least a little bit over. That's not looking too bad there. When we look at jobless claims, though, also another big focus on right now. We're getting jobless claims at 230,000 versus a 227,000. So jobless claims, small spike there of 3,000. That's actually causing a little bit of the downside action. I don't think the PPI number was really that bad, but that's just something definitely to take a look at it. And for August, of course, here's a revised number, right? It was revised to -2. It's at 0.3. Prior being 0.2, but you guys are seeing the SPY's reaction right now. It's a straight move down. And I think this is just going to give us opportunities to go back towards what yesterday's resistance where we broke out of, right? So yesterday we had a pattern here, guys, and I think it's very important to catch this pattern. So sorry about I don't know why this was taken off there, but as you guys can see, this was taken off yesterday as it kind of made a big move, right? It made a big move back up, right? We started to see that move down. It went all the way down towards the bottom end of the hourly range and then came right back up. So this pattern is complete. This short-term pattern actually completed yesterday. It didn't go down to the low, but it went down here towards this support and then bounced right off of that 540. So at this point, ignore all this, right? Because the truth is, this pattern is already completed. So once it comes back to that level, now that could act as support. So in that area, we can actually now look forward to see if we get support in that. So I'll be watching that same area, right, to see if we can go ahead and now get support from there. So keep your eyes to see if you come back to this level up here and try to catch some support. So that could be a move even back down to 550s, right? So that's like the potential downfall today, right? It could go back to those levels. I'm actually thinking that we don't even get close to that, but we are getting retracements right now that gives me opportunities to take some swing trades back to the upside. As I feel like yesterday was one of those days where we started to get opportunities. And yes, I've been looking for both sides of the trade, right? And even got a swing trade on right now, still on, right, to the downside, right? So we'll talk a little bit more about that coming up here. But one stock that I'll be watching is Tesla. We'll talk a little bit about that with the playbook. But as we're getting this downside action, it's might as well, let's start talking about the playbook. We'll get to the sunrise, and then we'll go back to the stock charts. Let's see if we can catch some dips. Maybe I'll go ahead and start some swing trading action here. I think it's very important when you get these opportunities on the downside. That's especially good for swing trades. Day trades right now in the pre-market, it's a little tough to determine, or we just keep falling. But at least for swing trades, you can go for deeper time frames and really get after the trade here. So let's get to the action here. You guys know where you're at. It's time for today's playbook. You guys out there, do me a favor, guys. Catch us on Twitter and retweet this. We need to get some more traders to see the playbook. We've been on top of it here, like always. Best trade of the week on the playbook had to be Goldman Sachs. I'm sorry. But let's get to the action and see what's on today. Right, traders, first up, we take a look at CSIQ as I look to see what will happen in solar, as solar has been really hot on the bounce back. Let's take a look at that. CSIQ got started yesterday and going to take a look to see what happens with this one. It's already propping up here towards the 1388s. I feel like this one can get through the 14s, but any pullback towards 1350s, 1360s would be great opportunities to see this start to get back there towards maybe a run towards 15s. Of course, this is like kind of the slower mover. It's not the real like kind of fast mover. I think the fast mover you're going to see is probably run trying to get back there towards the 22s. Also first solar. But one thing that's important is yesterday on the downside action, even at like, let's say 10 o'clock, this wasn't going down. It went up the whole time. So I don't know if it was a CPI report or if it was just seasonality coming into play, but definitely solar is on the watch. Let's get to the second one here. Let's go to Apple as I'm starting to look for an up move in the big boy. Apple. Yes, I'm calling it, guys. I'm starting to look to see if this can get the lift. And I know that I call all the, iPhone users sheeps because that's the truth, is that at the end of the day, they just buy the product and there's not really a better product. But that doesn't mean that there's not buying going on, right? In revenue action. So at this point, I'm looking at the daily chart and I can see an attempt move coming back. Where do I see it? I see it coming back towards this trend line right here, guys. So won't that be that move? That'd be a move back towards 228s and eventually maybe back towards 231s. So 228s definitely in play. And you can go and start to shake daily resistance. So first move I'm going to be looking at is a move to these highs, 225.48, 225.24. So that's definitely in play today. We'll see if Apple can get towards the 225. And what do I expect this? I expect some people to start bringing up iPhone, right? Start to bring up the intelligence. And as long as we can have a bullish day on the cues again today, well, Apple definitely in play. Let's get to the third one here. We'll talk a little bit about Tesla, the dragon, as I actually swung trade this to the downside yesterday, thinking that maybe we get the drop to 210. But that's if the market continued to drop. We got the opposite, a rally off of those lows. And now we can look to see any pullback into that area. Yeah, it's going to be some buying area for Tesla. And yes, I'm calling it now, guys. I feel Tesla will get the rip now. And sometimes you just have to be that flexible. So now I think what you're going to start to see is pullbacks get bought back. And another thing that you'll start to see in Tesla is what? Mentions of the robo-taxi day. Of course, it's not going to come until October, but I think you'll start to see the focus shift back to that action. And with that being said, we'd still have a gap to close on the upside towards this 245. So that's what I'm going to be calling now for us to close this gap towards the upside. So I'll actually fill that green here, and we'll be watching for that during the show to see if we start to get into that area. But this is an area definitely to watch, guys, as the stock could come right back up and close that gap. So watching for swing trades in Tesla. All right, let's get back to the action. We'll get to the sunrise report. I'm seeing the stocks move right now. We're already getting the bounce, guys. It's already starting to get the bounce there. We got a first downside action towards a 225. Tesla's almost back to the 226, guys. I'm going to take a swing trade in Tesla right now, and I think that that's the important thing. I don't want to wait there and wait till it kind of catches me. I can still add at the 225s or going back down towards like 220s. But I definitely want a starter piece here. And then I'm going to be looking to add on Tesla at some point. But let's go ahead. Let's try to get a little starter here. And then I'll look to see where I can get the ads at. So I'm going to look to try to get about 30 shares right now. And then looking to see if I can get back down there. I just put out an order at 226. We'll see if I get the fill. It's already bouncing towards 226.05. So I'll look for a little pullback there. Man, that was a quick one there. Let's see if I can get this up and get a nice little pullback fill. I'm going to push it up a tiny amount towards like 26.06 just to get the tiniest pullback fill. But Tesla already coming back, guys, and already ramping up there. Now towards 226.50s. Can I get some kind of pullback towards that 225s? We'll see if I get it, guys. And 226, right? That's where I'm really trying to get filled here. Let's see what happens there. All right, guys, that's starting to make the move. We'll see what happens there. I'm going to go back to the charts here, and then we'll take a look into the sunrise report as we got a lot to talk about in news out there, but I definitely wanted to throw out this trade here and maybe get a little starter. I mean, come on, give me that starter. Man, now it's jumping to 226 45s. A little part of me feels like chasing. I really don't want to miss Tesla today. But we'll see what happens here. 226.40s, still looking for pullbacks towards the 226. I do see about 2,000 shares at 225.80s. So I think that could be the pullback here. So I'm going to wait for it, guys. Let's see if I can get my entry back towards the 226. Here's that pullback towards 212s, and boom, right there it is, right? So I saw the share size waiting there, guys, and that's how I was able to go ahead and get a quick little entry here. So I'm in on Tesla, just got there, guys. I got there 225.95s, only 30 shares. Going to look to add some more on pullbacks, right? That's what I'm looking for. Hourly levels is what I'd be watching. Next level to add, it would be 225s and 224s, and then eventually looking for this to break 230s on the upside. We'll see what happens there in Tesla. Now down to 225.78. Below 225s is where I can get another add. I want to eventually get towards maybe 100 shares in Tesla. We'll find out. All right, guys, let's keep it going. Let's go towards the next stock. And of course, I still got Victoria's Secret on the short. I got to watch to see if I take that money and run today. But let's get to today's Sunrise report and see what stocks are moving and where you guys can be trading. Let's see what's out there. What's going on, team? As we get started, of course, the inflation jitters were shaking up the market yesterday as the markets really rebound, right? I mean, at first it was straight downside action as the CPI surprised a little bit there as we saw a slight uptick in core inflation, right? Of course, core inflation excludes the volatile food and energy prices. And this was an unexpected rise, right? And investors were looking at this and really what it really affected, and we talked about it during the show. We went to the CME FedWatch tool and I talked about how it's so important to look at this, traders. I showed you a little edge on what the bigger traders look at anyways, right? And what was talked about, right, was that the hopes for having the 0.5 percentage point cut for the Fed upcoming meeting, right, on September 17th and 18th is now pretty much cut down, and people don't think that that's actually going to happen. And that's exactly what we talked about yesterday right here. This is the edge that you can get versus going to other shows, right? That's what I'm trying to give you guys. The information, keep you guys in the informational edge is so important. Now that the Federal Reserve seems to be shifting its focus from inflation to economic growth, it's very important to see how the changing of the markets are reacting to this, right? And another thing that you need to be looking at will be what will happen now until the Fed meeting. The Fed meeting isn't until middle of next week. We could just rise and lift off of these numbers, and then eventually when we get the rate cut, a smack right back down. So I know that a lot of people are expecting a lift off on the rate cut, but I think it's going to be the opposite. I think we're going to run into that number and then see the downside action. So keep your eyes on what's going on, guys. It's definitely going to be a lot of movement. Today, of course, was focused on producer price index. So that's what you saw that first downside wave in. Let's see if we get some continued downside wave. I'll be watching out there, but definitely it's going to be a little bit of a shake. Let's go over now to, of course, NVIDIA, as it was interesting, right? As a lot of people are saying that this is exactly what led the market turnaround yesterday. I don't feel it was this, but there's always going to be kind of a rhyme and reason, right? The media is going to find something. And I even saw CNBC say they single-handedly brought the market back. That's not what happened, but we won't get into that conversation with CNBC. NVIDIA led yesterday's market turnaround, right? After the CEO, Jensen Huang, reassured that at the Goldman Sachs Communacopia Technology Conference, he revealed that the company's new Blackwell chips are in full production and ready to ramp up in Q4 with demand stronger than ever. Everyone wants to be first. That's bold, but will NVIDIA maintain the momentum in the face of rising competition? All things to be thought about. Let's get to the third one here as we talk a little bit about Moderna, as they're shifting a little bit of their strategy here, right? They've been focused on COVID, right? So Moderna's now thinking it's post-COVID future. The company plans to cut around $1.1 billion in expenses in 2027 while pushing for 10 new product approvals. This is very important, as CEO Stephanie Bankill told CNBC that they're trimming the research and development and spending and putting some more projects on hold here, particularly in their latest virus portfolio. Of course, that includes more of that COVID outlook. So this is a strategic shift as it comes as Moderna is facing declining demand in its COVID treatments. We've always talked about this, how they need to expand across from this. And now the cutting of the expenses could give them that ability to focus on some new growth drivers. That's exactly what needs to happen. And we've been seeing some interesting price action in Moderna, so keep your eyes on it. Let's get to the next one here. We'll go towards a collaboration with some big auto manufacturers, as, of course, the focus on margins has been insane into the autos, right? They used to be focused on EVs, and EVs were such a focus, but now it's more about how they can make money, profitability. So the auto giants joining forces here, General Motors and Hyundai, are teaming up for a new collaboration. They signed a memorandum understanding to explore partnerships in key areas like electric vehicle, hydrogen tech, and even internal combustion engines. I like how they added that they're going to look at internal combustion engines, because the truth is they're not going away, guys. I know that a lot of people think that all the vehicles were going to be EVs by like 2030s. Not going to happen, guys. I see that more like 2050. And that's crazy to think about, because there was such a push for this. But now, of course, this can help them reduce capital spending and boost some efficiencies. Of course, they can kind of talk to each other and kind of give themselves some insights in different areas. But I don't think this is going to be a game changer, guys. The truth is, this has become a battle of margins. And when you become a battle of margins, what can you do? Maybe you can overstep each other by a small smidge of margin, right? That's what Tesla is doing, right? I mean, Tesla's still winning the game in EVs, but it's slim. And they actually have bigger margins to gain because of the way they've done things, right? They've been focused on EVs the whole time. Now GM and Hyundai are trying to step into that game and realizing the margins are so slim there. They need to help each other out or figure out ways to be more efficient. So reduce capital spending and boost efficiencies. Let's get to the next one as we kick it over to Eli Lilly. And we all know how they've been pushing on their manufacturing of course, their weight loss drugs. So they're going to continue moving this investment into that. So they're expanding their manufacturing for their newly approved, of course, Alzheimer's drug and the popular weight loss treatments. This includes building new facilities in Ireland to keep up with the skyrocketing demand for the diabetes and weight loss drugs. So will this massive investment pay off in the long run is what investors need to be considering. And yes, you're clear for takeoff. Alaska soaring high here, guys, as we take a look at Alaska Airlines, and they're pushing stronger as their guidance is being raised here. It's third quarter earnings guidance. Thanks to strong summer travel demand, they're now expecting an EPS between $2.15 and $2.25, up from the previous range given, which was $1.40 to $1.60. So can Alaska Air maintain this momentum heading into a quieter fall travel season? Something to be thinking about. And of course, Alaska Air and Hawaii Air kind of combining. This is all good signs for that combination. So keep your eyes on that. And then the last one, of course, what earnings to maybe watch out for tonight? Well, Adobe reports earnings tonight. And you guys know how I feel about Adobe. I feel like it's really an AI stock, right? Like, the truth is that when you use Adobe's products right now, and you guys can see all these products right on my right-hand side, all that area is something definitely to take a look into, right? As what you actually use AI in this, right? Have you guys used Firefly? If you guys haven't used Adobe's Firefly, I really recommend for you guys to check that out. You guys can use that for free. Just search it up on Google. It'll bring you right to it. Of course, the company is set to report Q3 earnings after the bell, with analysts expecting revenues at $5.37 billion, up from $4.89 billion a year ago. So the revenue is just jumping, right? So that's what we'll be watching for. Adobe's AI-powered tools are driving significant growth, and analysts believe that the company, once once again beats estimates here. So Adobe has surpassed revenues expectation for the 6th straight quarters. So will they make it 7? Find out tonight, guys. Last thing, of course, we got a lot on the table this week with inflation data, with Fed decisions, and big earnings reports rolling in. So how do you guys see the market shaping up for Q4? Let us know what you guys are thinking. Like always, throw some comments in the chat. What do you guys like about it? Are you guys expecting to see technology stay strong? Let me know what you guys are thinking. It's time to kick things off into the live trading side of things. So, hey, you guys know where you're at. It's Trade the Pool, guys. Let's go trade. And I'll tell you what, guys, I already made some cash in a penny name. I wouldn't say a penny, maybe a small cap name, but still, money's in the bank. Let's go talk about it. Let's get to the trading side.
Wants 200, baby.
You ready to get back to the trading action?
You aim, you shoot, and make money. It's going to be a great day. You guys know where you're at.
All right, traders, welcome back, and we're ready to get to the trading action. It's been another great week right here on Trade the Pool, of course. Keeping it going, guys. I had a really great last month, trying to push it into this month. Doing well. Yesterday took a small hit, about 200, after not taking a trade during the stream. Eventually, I took a trade on the VIXI, trying to bet to what the upside, like I mentioned here at the 13s. He took a $200 loss, but bouncing back already, baby. Let's get to it. Let's see what we got up our sleeves today. All right, guys, so you guys can see it. Starting it off, guys, I've been taking the swing trade on Tesla, looking to add towards the 224.80s. I have another ad out there. And you guys also see what Victoria's Secret deep into the green there, guys, up about 335 on that trade. So going to take a look to see if I take the money and run in Victoria's Secret this morning. It was down pretty good, but on a day where the market's bouncing like it is, I got to be careful, right? So move back above the 2150s at the open and I'll get out. But right now, the offer is there. The bid's not there. I don't think it'll even trade there towards the bell, but I'll be watching this one to see if I take the money and run. Really, I'm looking for a gap close on Victoria's Secret back down towards this number here around the 2009, or maybe it gets closer towards this number around, let's say, the 2040s or 2039s. So that would be kind of like the big gain there. Can't be mad if I can get it back into that level. So that would be where I would want to just take the money and run. I can't be mad if I get it there, but the truth is right now, I'm just looking to see if it can continue. So I'll be watching for a break, move back below 21s out the gates. If it breaks 21, it can keep going. If it starts to work its way back through hourly highs, I got to get out and take the money. So we'll see what happens there. Tesla going to continue to battle that. Let's go to the day trade side of things and show you what I was able to do this morning. So there you guys have it. Look at that. Another morning gain there, and with small size. This is what I got to continue doing with these penny stocks in the morning, right? Or I call it penny stocks. You guys can call it small cap plays, right? And that's the way I approach it. So I was looking at this one this morning, TNON. And look forward towards a video, guys. I've been working on this. It's taken me a little bit longer. So, yeah, Gil, I'm trying to finish this too. I've been trying to work a video to show you guys how I've been going after these penny stocks, because I think it's so important to be able to come after these names. And I went after this TNON today. And boy, oh boy, I left some on the table here, but I can't be mad. I can't be mad, really. I traded it really well. And I'm going to show you guys it right off of the Trade the Pool. But I did want to show you guys the pattern here first. So let's go ahead. Let's show you the pattern, and then I'll show you what I was seeing. So a lot of times in the mornings, I'm getting in here at like right before 6:30. Right. So what I take a look at is what stock is popping once I get here. I get here at 6:39. I see this popping, right? I'm like, all right, well, it's showing up on my scanners. Now, what pattern am I seeing? I'm seeing a potential flag pullback, right? So I start to see this and I start to see the bottoming action, and I'm looking at it and I'm watching it. All right. So now I'm getting this third bottoming action, and I'm thinking, come back to shake that one last time, right? you guys know how I like my rule of 3, and that's exactly what we got here. It went back one last time, cracking through that 650s. That's where I really wanted to take the shot. And then I tried to add here at 610. I didn't get the fill, and that's a little frustrating one that I didn't get the fill, because this would have been more of a $300 winner than a 200 or 179 winner. But can't be mad about that. Only had a small sizing at that point, and I'll show you guys the trade right here from the entries. And this is what I always like to do, because the truth is this is how you guys learn, right? Actually showing you guys everything from the point where you guys see my entries and exits. So here it is, guys. This is the way the trade went. You guys can see the pullback here on the 5 minutes. It was pulling back, pulling back, pulling back. I tried to add here at the 620s, 610s when it was starting to come back, but eventually it popped really quickly. It was up there towards 8. And I said, once it was hanging out here at 8, I was just looking for a dip to maybe take a shot or an attempt to break out towards the 830s. That's exactly what I got. And I took the shot there to add there, added another 50, brought my average up there towards like 720s, 730s. That told me that, yeah, I just had to be really careful, right? That this wouldn't break down. If it came back to break even, I would be out. But instead, I got the rip. And it ripped up there pretty high. I took it off there at 927, but this went all the way up there towards 1093s. So definitely left about $1.60 on the table. Can't be mad about that, as the stock came back down right after that. So we'll see what happens there on TNON. I was riding the momentum and selling the rip. That's what I want to do. Sometimes you're not going to get the big move there, and I didn't get all of it, but I got the meat, the core of the move, I like to call it, right? The truth is, it's a great trade, and it gives me a cushion to move on. Let's go taking a look at different stocks today. Let's see what we can trade. NVIDIA is going to be on the focus, right? We'll see what happens on NVIDIA. It's pulling back right now, giving opportunities for bulls to come in. And if you were jumping in the morning, well, you probably got caught with that downside action in the SPY. We'll take a look to see what happens now. Let's take a look at how the SPY's reacting. SPY bouncing a little bit there just recently. We'll see if it can really get the bounce and come right back to the highs, as I do feel that that's what could happen here. So I did get an undercut there in the Tesla trade, and look at that, guys. No fill? Oh, no, I wanted that fill there, guys. I'm a little frustrated. I had an order out at 224.80s. It went to 224.88s. So taking a look to try to add some here in Tesla. I would like 225s here, but I think I'm not going to be able to get it. I think it's going to start coming back here. So I'm looking to see if I just step up to the plate here. I put out there 225.20s for a little bit of a pullback fill here. Let's see if we get another attempt to 225. Just got to keep a close eye on this one, guys. My big thing with this one is I really want to have a nice core position. And now I'm getting what on the hourly or in the 1 minute. So I got one downside action move here, two downside action moves, three downside action moves, and we just attempted that breakdown, right? So the breakdown was there. So now anything into that spot that holds this low is an area where I can start to add, right? So that's what I'm looking at, an attempt to move down into this spot to go ahead and start to size in. And of course, you know, the market could change, right? We could have a red day today and I get caught in this. But I have this feeling that it's nice setup on the daily. The daily looks good here. We started to boost above that. And if we get into the 230s, 236, well, this is going to be looking like it already flew away and you got your opportunity. So looking to see if we get that gap fill is so important for me. Of course, I'm going off of a 1 minute pattern, so it could be a little bit tighter and then eventually turns into a deeper time frame pullback. That's going to be closer towards your hourly pullbacks, which could come back into the space around, let's say, the 223 spot. That's halfway in the pattern that it kind of broke away from. But I'm looking for it to hold here around this 225, maybe 224s, but not seeing below that today. So now it's just a matter of where do I get the sizing in, right? So I'm looking to get some sizing closer towards the 225s there, as that could pull me back towards like 225.50s and that kind of action, right? So smaller size at the first, looking to get a nice little add here. If not, so be it. It can come right back to my level, and then I can always step up to the plate. Like the rule of 3 there, now starting to reverse out of it. Now I'm going to look to see if it just boosts and starts to make its way back to 226. See if I can get a small little pullback here, and then I'll just go ahead and I'll jump in with some size. Still no pullback off of that right now. Still looking good. And I saw the sizing come in on that 4th down attempt. All right, we'll see what happens there, guys. Smash the like. We got a lot to take a look at here. Tesla trying to bounce back there. I'm putting it towards 225.20s right now. Let's keep it going, guys. What are you guys taking a look at out there? I'll start catching up with you guys in the chat. Smash the like. You guys know where you're at. It's great. Cool. Let's go, team. Get it going this morning. Get that money. All right, what's going on out there, traders? How we doing? It's good to see you. What's up, Nick? How we doing out there, man? MNPR. All right, I'll take it. You finally found Money Mitch. You know it, Nick Sanders. You know it, my friend. MNPR. Let's get to that money today. Let's go. All right, there's a little pullback. That could give me that nice little fill. Come on. Come back to me. Right now on the bid. Off of the 225.16s, looking for a little bit of a dip here to go ahead and get that last ad. And then I can look for the kind of the win ad. I'll look for another 30 shares as it starts to come back to my level. But here it is, guys. It's giving me the opportunity, just not trying to kind of pull back further towards the 225s here. It's holding up. There's some volume around the 225, so I think we'll test it at least one more time here. That's why I'm trying to get filled closer towards the 225s here than, let's say, the 225.50s, because that's not going to give me an improvement on my average too much. So looking to see if that can kind of work in here. And where do I see that sizing? Well, right there. You guys see it on the 225s right here. So I'm trying to show you guys a little bit here of how I approach it and why I'm not putting my order out there at the, let's say, the 250s. 225.50s actually has some sizing on the upside. So I'm looking to see if it can magnet back down towards this 225 spot. So there it is, already bouncing a little bit there. So we could just shake it and we could just go right back up and not back towards that 225s. But since there's this empty pocket there, I'm looking to see if we get a quick pullback to that spot and then some buying. So 225.20s is another area I can look at right now, as this person that was at 225 probably stepping up a little bit to the 20 cents here. Just looking for some volume to really come in there, and you can see the volume slowing down here. This is when the volume came in big. I think this was a buyer, so I'd like to see him come back to it around the 225.08s, 225.05 area. And there it is, already lifting there. So we might not even get back there, and that's okay. I can always add above my levels, right? What I can't do is try to push too much in between. I hate to be the pig. I like to buy off the support there and then look for it to come back towards the resistance, because 226 is where I'm at right now, right? 225.95. Already back there to 225.75s. That's good look, but I'm still looking for the pullback. I'm not trying to just jump out of my shoes and get caught on the Tesla move. All right, guys, it's 9:08. Got to also continue to watch Victoria's Secret. Also, we'll be watching the day trade action, right? Got to move back and forth between the day trade and the other action. But let's take a look at the one that you just talked about, MNPR. Monopar Therapeutics is going sideways here. If I go to the 5-minute pattern, that's probably what I'm going to be looking at a little bit more of. And you guys can see here, up one, down one, up two, down two. Tried to make a little breakout, then pulled back here. It's holding pretty well. I would like to see a fake washout, right? So a fake washout would be a level back down towards this first support. Right now, it's holding the 480. Make an attempt to 460s is what I would like to see out the gates. And then we could see this start to kind of really come back. It's holding sideways here. I want to see it wash out some buyers at the 5, come to the 460s, and then come right back up, roaring. We'll see what happens there in MNPR. Monopar Therapeutics. Actually, you know what? I'll include it on some of the stocks right here, and I'll actually set an alert there for you guys. MNPR. See where I can set that alert there for you. MNPR. I'm going to set an alert at the 468s, and I'm going to set an alert at 520s. So above 520s, I'll let you know. Below towards that 460s, I'll also let you know, guys. We'll be watching that MNPR towards the gates. What's up out there, William? Always good to see you, man. A game plan works if you follow it, but I suck twice a week. We all suck twice a week, it seems like, William. I can't blame you, man. I usually have about 2 red days a week, right? And I have about 3 green days a week, right? That's at least the way the statistics work out. But like always, we got to keep battling. I've had my red day. That was yesterday. I've had 2 green days, right? Now let's keep battling. What's going to be today, green or red? Well, there's only 2 results, right, that it can be. But what we're going to do is focus on what? Processed approach and the habits that get us to the green. There's always habits that can get you to the green. Find those habits and stick to them. If not, make improvements. The charts for seconds don't work for me on Trade the Pool. Which ones? Oh, the seconds charts. That might not work as much, right? I mean, I know that it does on mine. I've used it before, but I don't go into seconds charts, Adam. So really, I mean, you can use that. It can give you an advantage for like micro pullbacks, but it doesn't mean anything too much. It can work for you. Like let's attempt it here, because this is really a tough thing on any charting service to go into the seconds. Majority of your charting services are only going to go into minutes, right? So I have used the second thing, but it starts to get a little bit weird. We can take a look at it, right? Let's go to it. Let's do a 30-second chart, right? Let's do a 30 seconds here. Definitely wouldn't do anything probably smaller than that, but you can see how it reopens the tick there, right? So now you're kind of starting new kind of charting there. And so you got to continue to watch it to see what happens, right? You see the 30 seconds there, but it starts the new kind of charting there. And so that's what you want to be watching. And then you got to just watch. It doesn't give you the old price levels still, right? And so that's one thing that I noticed, right? So, hey, the seconds ones might not work for you, but it's more about looking at the action that it's at right now and comparing that to like the next candles, right? So then now you're starting to get the candles. Now you're starting to get the history. You aren't usually going to have history for 30-second charts. So just be happy that you could even get into the 30-second chart. That's what I would do. Take a look at this, right? So I'm going to go back to what I normally trade, which is like, 1 minute or 5 minute charts. But even here on TC2000 that I'm paying close to $70 a month for, right? I can't go into seconds charts. I can go to a tick chart, but I can't go into the seconds charts. And so that tells me something, right? That tells me that it's probably just not needed, man. Like I can't even get to that, right? You can see it here. So I would say that definitely it's probably not needed, guys. I don't think it's something that's going to give you an advantage there. Of course, you guys can take a look at that. But if you're looking at seconds, you're looking at quick scalps. Not what I think is the best opportunity. But hey, to each his own. We'll see what happens there. Tesla making another attempt to the downside, but no fill there, guys. So still hanging out at the bottom there, looking for a fill closer towards the 25s. 225s coming back down, 225s, 10s. Can I get the fill there towards the 225s? We'll see if we get it, guys. We'll see if we get it. Don't want to go out of control here. Just kind of want to wait for the opportunities here. Getting the pullback right now, guys. It's at the 225s. We might get a wick down below it here, but I'm willing to add at the 225s here. So looking to get a nice little fill here. Let's see if I can get it. Come on, fill me. 225.04s, 225.10s here. I'm stepping up a little bit there towards the 225.08s. Just trying to get a fill here towards the 225s, but don't want to overreact. There's 225.09s. Come on, man. And it spreads out there, right there. I was trying to get it. There's 225.04s. There it is. Got the fill there. Got the fill at the 225.05, guys. So, yeah, I could have waited for the 225s there. You see it at the 225s, but took the shot there. 225.50s now, 60 shares. Let's start to see if this can hold now on the 1 minute. Would like to see a wick here, and then it starts to come right back to the 225.75s. This is going to be a good outlook before the bell that we're up into this area versus down at the support. We'll see what happens here on the swing for Tesla. Swinging, baby. Let's get it. All right, TNON might give another entry around. What area? Oh, look at that. I'll watch it. I think it can give us another entry, but I'm going to wait on the sideline for that right now. Setting up really for the swing trade action, and we'll watch different names in this space, right? I also want to take a look at CISQ, right, to see what happens with that one out the gates. We'll see what happens there. And what will happen to Victoria's Secret? Will I get stopped out? Will I take the money and run? There's only one way to find out, team. Stick around. All right, 9:15, guys. Let's go back to the day trade side of things and go see what we're setting up for, right? TNON definitely still in play. Where could I watch this? Well, I look at the hourly or deeper time frames. So at first, what did I do? I did a retracement look, right? That was this retracement look. I actually drew the retracement. I look for around 50% to 61.8, which is the golden mean. You got exactly around that area on that retracement. So at this point, I'm taking that off, right? I'm looking at deeper time frames to start trying to grab this on a better opportunity. So I'm going to erase all this action, right? Where did we find a lot of bottoming? In the $6 spot, right? And now we're coming back towards what? Towards this close here. So we're trying to get back above. Sorry about that, guys. I got it right before the sneeze. All right, let's see if we can get this back above the 760 area. Where could it come back towards and find deeper support? It's closer towards 6 and 585s. So right now I'm looking at that area to see where do we start to turn things around. Well, so we pulled back. We've had what? 1 downside action, 2 downside action. I'm going to look for a third and then reversal. Still haven't gotten that third side action on the downside. So that's what we got to kind of look at. The same thing that we kind of looked at for here, right? So what was it? 1, 2, 3, and a fourth attempt to make a bottom, right? So that's exactly what we're looking for. 1, 2, 3. Make that attempt down here into this area, the 650s. The 650 area would be a nice looking area to kind of get this to, and then it can come back through 760s. I'll tell you one thing, this thing likes to ramp and jump when it moves. So being slower, I think is going to be better than being faster to the move. When it goes, it goes. It was jumping like 20, 30, 40 cents higher. So we'll see what happens with this TNON. Micron looks good, looks lower, but maybe hard support at 85. It's not a bad one to watch. One thing that I'd say about Micron is that at least it's in the right area that is getting the lift, but it's not getting the lift and the love that you would expect. Like, I like the semiconductor equipment space, right? Like AVGO is an area that I'd kind of take a look at. This is starting to come back up and strong. So this one's a little bit better, right? Look at the 3 days. So look for stocks and those semiconductors that have that kind of 3-day lift. If you see the strong day lift in those, then you can go ahead and play the laggard like Micron. But I think there's still other plays like AMAT that I like a little bit more, or maybe even seeing like another name start to make them look like maybe Wolf starts to bounce off of this kind of really kind of depreciation that's come into this name. But semiconductors, AMD is also a momentum name. And right now we're on a momentum ride back up to the upside. So you got to keep your eyes on names like that. I like Apple today, really. Microsoft is another really good looking chart. If you look at the daily chart, you can see how this is starting to turn. And I like how it kind of made this attempt down to 400 and ramped out of that. So, of course, pullbacks to that I can take a look for. That's going to be pullbacks coming back towards, like, let's say 416. But right now, it's looking like it wants 430 and wants to just break out of this and start to drive higher. So the next level, 430s. But I'd be looking for a little bit of quick pullbacks to try to play Microsoft. Doesn't look too bad. Apple also through that 225 spot. I can see it start to push back here towards this resistance, and 225 comes into play fast. We'll see what happens there in Apple today. Can it get going? Can it break through the 225? I haven't traded Apple in a little while now. And I'm definitely going to be watching for quick pullbacks into this spot here. That's going to be your hourly back towards 221.50s, 221.30s. Wouldn't be looking too bad. But if this could just rip, that tells me more and more that we can get a nice little boost in some tech names. We'll see what happens there in the Qs. Can we get the lift, or will the SPY just fall off, right? What was that yesterday? Was it a real rally? We'll find out today. That's for sure. All right, guys, smash the like out there. If you guys are enjoying the action, let me know what you guys are taking a look at. Today, we'll talk a little bit more about backtesting, and I think it's important, right? If you're not backtesting your strategy, you probably don't know how profitable it really is, right? And just testing overall, testing data is very, very important, guys. All right, we'll see what happens today. Tesla now down to 224.50. So going to give me an attempt there on the swing trade to keep trying to add in on that pullback. So let's go to it, guys. I do want to add towards the 224s and below that, right? So just looking to go ahead and see this start to drop there back below the 224s. Let's see if we can add another 30 shares there and just keep it going on the pullback. Eventually, it'll be a risk about $200, $300, but let's go ahead. Let's see what we can do here, guys. Of course, on the swing trade, just trying to improve my average here on the pullback. And eventually, once we get back there towards, let's say, 227s on the day, I'll take a bigger swing. I feel like this could get a nice move into the gap space above. It's on the pullback right now, giving us the opportunity. Now I just got to look at hourly levels and where I can be getting after it. So another way to look at this also is like the 4-hour chart, right? The 4-hour chart, where does that have that pullback to? 223.79. Where's the 9 EMA? 223.70s. So let's go and try to get a nice little add into that spot. So 223.70s. It said 70. I'll put 75 or 80 to try to get that entrance, right? So 223.75 is where I want to get the entry. It looks like I can't even get the 30 shares. So I'm going to probably go closer towards the 20 shares here. Ooh, even 20 shares rejecting. Let me try 19. Ooh, I can't get it. Can't get it, guys. You need to get 15. All right, well, I'll throw the 15 out there, guys. I'll be trying to add another 15 there. We'll see if we get that add. And that's the truth. Buying power goes quickly when you're using it on Tesla. The key is what will happen to that Victoria's Secret. I'll be able to probably either take the money and run, or that will expand the winning, and I'll just kind of ride that wave. If that goes to $400, $600 win, I won't even care about the Tesla trade, really. So the important part is try to ride the winner and then starting a new position here in Tesla to the upside. All right, we'll see if we get that next add. I still got it down there towards the 223.70s. If it gets there, it gets there, and I get the add. If I don't, I can add it once we start going back through my opening price. All right, let's keep going, guys. Let's take a look around. Let's see what else is moving and what we can get towards the bell. AMD will be on my radar also, as I love to get this one when it does get the momentum move. Keep your eyes on that. All right, another one, PayPal and Square look interesting for me, guys. So keep your eyes on this one. I didn't put it on the playbook, but it did look interesting for it to recover the 9 EMA and make a move to 74. And another thing I start to see is that the weekly is starting to change trends and hold the 9 EMA pullback. So that's actually good signs here. And that could help Square. It's closer towards the bottom. So I like Square because it's closer towards the bottom. And so I'm getting it near the daily support. But PayPal could lead the action and Square could follow, right? The leader laggard style trade. I'd keep an eye on it here. Square seems like it's starting to prop, and it could make a big attempt move towards a long-term trend line where it starts to break back above this, right? And so this is a long trend line, guys, that it's starting to approach. I'd keep a very close eye on this. Back above this level, let's say Square going back to 70s and 80s, and it's going to start looking really good that it could shake all this sideways consolidation and break the resistance around the 85. So keep your eyes on that one. Not a bad one to watch. That, and of course, PayPal could be the leader that shows you that it really wants to take the move. We'll see what happens there. PayPal would be a nice one to definitely take a look at. And of course, that's in your credit services. So you could see kind of the financials bounce back, right? Financials bounced back yesterday. And I'm going to take a look to see if they can make one more attempt higher. And then we'll see what happens in the overall market. Do we get to run into some more worry again? And then I can start shorting those names again. But man, what a trade that was on Goldman Sachs just earlier in the week. We'll look to see if we get a little bit more bounce back, especially JPM. JPM, I think we'll get a little bounce back. Could go back towards like 214s, and then we'll see if we get some more downside action. All right, let's keep taking a look out there. What else is out there trading? BKYI was one that I was watching earlier today. It's back above this 246. So that's kind of the level that you can look for to see if it can hold today. It did make a rip back towards the 270s. I was looking at it in the pre-market because it was over here around 7. You guys can see I already have it drawn. I was looking at maybe do I go after this one? And I was like, man, there's not much. Maybe it has like 15 cents on the upside. So I left it alone. We'll see what happens on it though. TNON, is that moving yet? No, it's not. It's just hanging out there. Hanging out at around the $6. We'll look to see if we get a move on this one. TNON. Where did I have my alert set towards? Back towards the 650s. kind of that area, definitely something to watch. I'm going to set an alert there on 770s, guys. I'll let you guys know, but I am seeing what? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, one more attempt down into that 650s is what I really would like to see for TNON. We'll see if we get it there. Tesla already starting to come back there. Got towards the 224, 25s, but it's right back closer towards the 225s. We'll look to see if it makes the move. Alert on, guys. MNPR. MNPR, guys. Alert, guys. Alert, MNPR. It's right around that 515, 520 area. Looking like it wants to break out here. It's not a name that I'm going to come after, but I wish you guys the best. I know that there's some news out on this one. 15-minute sideways pattern here, holding the 480s. Let's see if it takes the move towards 575s, maybe $6 here right before the gates. Doesn't look too bad there. Maybe I could risk like $20 off the $5 now that you're up that 520s. But the pullback could be wicked back towards 5. That's kind of the risk, I think, right here. Now the question is, do you want to take the trade? Wish you guys the best of luck. Let me know. Who's going after that MNPR? Wish you the best of luck on that one. I'd like the pullback, let's say, to hold 510s, 511s. If there's a pullback opportunity, that's the area, and you got it here at the 510s. When this went to 515s, 510s with a nice little area for that bunch up. Now it's looking like it wants to just go. We'll see if it runs. All right, let's go. I know you were mentioning that one just a couple seconds ago. Wish you the best of luck, man. All right, Nug and J Nug. How is gold doing today? How's GOLD? We back to 20. So J Nug, yeah. The gold in play, that's for sure. And what I like about this is that when you get like JNUG to really start driving, look how it moves. It moves like $1 or $2. So this is a scalping type of play. I like stocks like this. The only thing is you got to be careful for the spread. The spread right now is really wide. Wait for the intraday and it gets a little tighter. We'll see what happens there. Tesla working its way back. I'm going to be looking to also take Apple. We'll see what happens on that towards the bell. It's going to probably look to swing Tesla and looking more to day trade the momentum in Apple, day trade the momentum in other names like CSIQ. We'll see if we can nail some solar names. FSLR, of course, super strong. What I'd look for these is like the first hour of the day to maybe be red on the solar names and then get green. Now, technology names are already ripped higher. So pullbacks actually give the bulls more opportunities. So that's why I was looking at the pullback this morning as juicy, because it can run it right out the open. And then what are you doing? You're trying to chase at the open. We'll see what happens here. There's a pullback in MNPR for the opportunity at the 510s, right? So you know what? Just for fun, guys, just to take a trade here in the pre-market. It's already towards 519s there. It jumped off that 510s. Spread is about 10 cents there. So I can go for 515 here. Maybe take a shot there at the 515s. Let's see if I can get it there. Ooh. I'm on the swing trade. Let's go to the day trade side. I don't have any buying power there, so I got to go to the day trade side. There's 510s, 515s available to us. See if I can get the 515s here. All right, let's go, guys. Let's have a little fun here, guys. Just took the 515s. I'm going to risk off the $5 here, guys. So it's only $15 risk. It's very small. Just going to look to see if we can make a little cushion here if it wants to break out. It's a nice looking pattern. So I talked about it. And sometimes when I get a nice looking pattern like this, I just want to take it based off of what I'm seeing, right? And so look at the 5 minute here. I'm going to expand this a little bit so we can take a look at the pattern a little bit more. But you guys can see it here, already lifting towards the 520s, looking good here. We're going to look for a rip towards the 550s, 575s, maybe gets $6. So that's like the potential reward here. But you get, of course, a one up move, then you get a pullback, right? Second up, second pullback, third up, third pullback, just held that. Now it could go for the breakout, right? So that's the way I look at things all the time. I'm looking for supports to build. That's exactly what we got here. This is the support area. And I'm going to kind of draw this up here for you guys. Support area, I'm going to draw it in green because that's really where I want to be like kind of adding and taking shots. Resistance area on the reds here. What are we at? 9:30. There's the bell, guys. Be careful out there. I'm in this one, and I'm going to set a stop at 5 here. Just set it at the 499s, guys. Looking for this to make a run there towards 6 eventually, maybe even above 6 here, guys. So we'll see what happens if this one can really make the move. It's up at the 517s. Can it make the move into this spot here? That's really what I'm looking for. That's going to be more that area where I'd like to take some profits into. Let's see it here, guys. 530s here, now starting to lift here. I'll be watching some different areas out the gates. I think I might have cut on Victoria's Secret there too, right out the gates here. I'll be watching to see what happens. Gates out of the gates. Tesla downside action here. Definitely pulling back out the gates. The Q's pulling back also. NVIDIA, quick pullback down to 116. So we are seeing a little bit of a pullback out there. We'll see if we can get the lift. There's MNPR. It's back towards 520s here. Let's see if it can push and really take the lift here towards 6. That's going to be the push there that I think we could get the expansion move. Let's see if we get it. If it's back below 5, I'm just going to get out of the name and take the very, very tiny hit there. The stop's literally waiting there at 499. Could get me out at any moment here, but I'm giving it the opportunity. And that's what matters. Opportunity sometimes is all we can do. All right, guys, let's get after it, traders. You guys know the market's open. Be safe out there, guys. Be safe. Let's go. All right, traders, we'll see what you guys are taking a look at. And like always, let me know. What are you guys watching out there? Roku's been strong. Yeah, momentum names have been strong. We'll see if they can keep pushing. All right, just got cut out there as that came back there towards that $5, and it hit right on the 496. So it could just still take the up move here. MNPR definitely pulled back, got me out. It could still make the move, right? And so it still hasn't broken down anything. It just made a wick attempt, kind of a red to green. Now could make the move here through the 520s going to 6. So just keeping an eye on it, but I need to go take a look at the swing trades. I'm definitely getting some alerts there. TNON giving me an alert, so got to keep an eye on that as that just boosted through the 760s. So TNON, strong move there. 770s, just got the alert there, guys. That I've already made a good money on this, so might take a shot on this one. This thing was boosting this morning. So looking at the hourly, where can I come after it? So pullbacks to this level, 730s, that's where I got a risk on. I'm looking for pullbacks towards like 750s here, lower 750s, 775s. That's the area to watch for. Is it in the halt? Could get halted any moment here. It could be halted, guys. There's the halt. It's halted at the $8. Boom. I probably should have taken a shot there somewhere in the 7s, maybe half the share size that I want to get, maybe 50 shares. This has potential to get to 10 today. So we'll be watching that out the gates there. TNON, I alerted it as soon as it went through that 770s, and boy, oh boy, right through 8s, halted. Tesla taking off there, guys. Tesla taking off there. Let's go. Let's go. Trying to add to this on the swing trade. Took the money and ran in Victoria's Secret. Now we're up there towards 227s in Tesla. And I need to go look for the day trades there also in Apple to see if I'm able to get this. But I'm going to just try to get some more share size to add here. I had a limit on the pullback to add. I'm going to look for a pullback back towards 226 here for another ad here. But look at the takeoff there in Tesla. Money Mitch calling it right there in Tesla. You guys know where you're at. It's trade the pool, guys. Tesla. Let's go. Look. This always looks good on a candle here on my screen here. Let's go, man. Tesla. Let's get it, guys. Not a bad move there. Now 228s, guys, up about 180 already on that Tesla. Going to go switch to the day trade side. Look for the momentum to come into Apple, that kind of stock. It's already on the pullback here. So I'm going to try to jump on Apple on this pullback. Even though Tesla's making the move there, the Qs are just starting to come back up. Apple trying to get the lift off here. Let's see if I can bet off the bottom here and take a shot here. It's in the 70s. The bottom was 2140s. So it would be about $40 of risk right now. Just want to see it come back through that 222s, and then I can risk off this bottoming first candle, which was a 221.60s here. Watching Apple to see what happens there. Microsoft, what's up with that? That's already coming back also. So I've got to take a look at the sectors and what's doing well in technology. Technology is not leading, actually. Consumer cyclical is leading. So if there's one area to kind of keep an eye out there, of course, auto manufacturing, Tesla is in that spot. Luxury goods doing really well with Signet's earnings. That was pushing strong. I'm not really looking at luxury goods as the area right now, but hey, keep your eyes on that to see what happens. Movado getting a lift there. Not really kind of focusing on that area. Am seeing so auto truck kind of get a little bit of a lift. Specialty retail is getting a little bit of a lift there, guys. Wolf, getting a little lift there. Petco, big push there. We'll see what happens. Getting another alert there. MNPR now back down there towards that weakness, down to 460s. So glad I got out of that bad boy. It's back down, and it did do a spike to 540s right into that spot. Rejected hard there. So be careful out there, traders. What a move there. Apple down to 225s. We'll see if it can recover now. It's definitely still weak, so I'm looking to see when it starts to come turning back around. I liked Apple today, but Tesla is leading the party, guys. 229s, almost 230s here. That was the level that I gave just in the pre-market, 230s. We're almost to that right now. So what a move here, guys. Look at this, guys. Up 230s now in this swing trade. Gonna let Tesla continue to run here, as I do want to take some profits as I get above, let's say, $300, $400. But for right now, it's just driving and driving. Let's let Tesla work here and get into the gap spot. 232s, next spot for me to take a look at. And that's when I can start to take some type of profit here. We'll see what happens there. Big lift there in Tesla. Let's go, Eldon. Eldon is back, baby. Let's go. Hope you were watching out there. I was talking about Tesla in multiple areas today that I could see the lift off. And there you guys have it. 229s. Nice little lift off there in Tesla. Can it keep running? Yes, it can. We'll see. We'll see. Like always, there could be pullbacks. Pullbacks to the VWAP is what makes sense for me now. 227 on the pullback for Tesla. But sometimes Tesla likes to just run. So I'm just letting it go here. SMMT, a definite watch to watch, guys. This stock has just continued to rip. I know that a lot of people didn't think that it would make a move to begin with. Look at the freaking absolute terror rip that SMMT's on. It's up to 26.6, almost 27 today, guys. What a rip there in SMMT, up there towards 27. This could be a blow off top, so be careful. This thing moves like crazy. But boy, oh boy, if you like biotechs, that's a big move there. TNON should be opening up any moment here. Let's take a look at the action and see what we can get there. Tesla, 229s, almost 230s right back. There's 230s. Tesla taking the 230s there. Going to continue to watch Tesla to see if it can get to that 232s. That's where I could take a little bit off there. I'm going to actually set up to take a little bit off there. I do want to take some off there at least, guys. Maybe half of it at the 232 spot. But then I can see this getting up there to 240s. So I'm going to take some off there at 232s. And then from there, the remainder will be for a big, big run, a big, big winner. We'll see what happens. Never got that limit ad at 226. I'm canceling that limit ad. There's no need to add at this point. I have an awesome entry and just looking to let this work here. So we'll see if we're able to get it to that 232 today. Tesla with a big rip. Let's go. Let's go. Sound that alarm. You guys know where this was at this morning. On what? On the playbook, of course. But what was it? It was playbook 2, was it? Oh, playbook 3. There it is. Tesla. Guys, no excuses. Hashtag. Get after it, team. All right, let's get back to the trading action. Doing really well. Let's go. 230, 50s. Can we get to 232s, guys? Almost into the 300 area right now. Taking a look at that action. Really nice trade here in Tesla today. 232s is already going to be around $400, so that would be taking off about 200 and securing that. That's nothing bad, guys. Just trying to secure the win here and secure the bag, pushing the swing trade higher. And VSCO, right? That could keep coming right back down. I could go back into that name after we start to get some decline, but we could push back to the 222.50s if the Qs continue to stay strong. I don't want to be short right now. I want to be looking for longs, right? Well, the Qs are pulling back right now, even though Tesla is going higher. Got to keep a watch to see when this turns green, because if this can turn green, we can get Apple to come back up. Apple's actually down big to 220s now. So giving opportunities out there. NVIDIA's down and now starting to come back. So that's a good sign. Let's see if NVIDIA drives the market single-handedly back to the upside. Just pun intended for CNBC. But let's see what happens here, guys. Tesla on the pullback. Can it get back up there towards the 230s? I'll be taking out half there at 232s. I already have the order out. All right, really nice move there in Tesla today. I'm glad I was staying on that one and was willing to flip. Yesterday I shorted Tesla. Today we're going long it, baby. Let's go, Dragon. Take that leap. 230.50s. Can we go to the 231s and move towards the 232s? Why am I looking at 232s? Because you start working into this resistance around the 231.60s, 231.80s. You could run into a little bit of resistance. I'm looking for that next move to 233s and 234s, eventually getting to this high 235 today. But you start working your way into that gap zone that I've been looking for. Let's see it, guys. 230.50s. Let's go. Keep it going, Tesla. All right, back to the day trade side of things. Let's go see what we can find out there. TNON, how'd that do? It opened up. It's now towards 880s. What a move there. What a move in TNON. And it did pull back to the 780s, 770s. Gave me the opportunity to jump in. I just wasn't watching it. But nice little move there at now towards 9. So that pullback on the 9 EMA made sense. I'm looking for pullbacks on the 9 EMA to jump in. That's 840s now. But you're already jumping there towards 9. This has potential maybe towards 10. Big move there. MNPR, how'd that one do? Pulled back towards that 460s, made that undercut. Now we'll look to see if it rallies a little bit later in the day. Can keep an eye on it, right? I'll let you guys know if for any reason it's starting to jump again. The area that I'd be watching now is like 480 recovery. So back through that 480, you can get to 5 really quickly. We'll see what happens. All right, SMMT was another one that got all the way up there to 27s. Pullbacks can go down to 25.75, so just be careful on that one. But big strong day out there, guys, and definitely seeing the Qs now starting to come back down. It's still rejecting the VWAP here, so looking to see if when this can really start to make the move. Of course, Tesla the leading action in the Qs today, and also Dollar Tree leading to the upside. PDD doing really well there, so some China names doing pretty decent. You can take a look there, and look what also is doing well here. PayPal, guys. PayPal was one that was on my watch. It's doing pretty decent there. Going to look at Square also to see if maybe I can jump on that movement. How's Square doing there? The Qs are coming back. Square is actually weak right now, so giving me an opportunity to maybe catch that. PayPal off the 70 pullback looks pretty interesting there. It did come from 69 up there towards 70 30s, now pulling back there. We'll see if it takes the next step up there. PayPal Qs just made a swing back to the upside, so let's start seeing if Apple can start to bottom out here and start to work its way back on the upside move. That's what I'm looking for. Nice hourly long pullbacks. Now we can look for the buy the dip situation here in Apple. Let's go for it. I wanted Apple. It was on my list. I'm going to go try to get it here on this last pullback here. So of course I'll risk off of the kind of the 20-20-80 area, but looking to go ahead and try to get it closer towards 221s here and then risk off of that. All right, guys, just took it there, guys. Long 220.93s here, and just going to go ahead and set a risk here towards the next layer. I'm going to risk here about $40. Not much. $40 here. 220.50s here, guys. So it could go a little lower here, but really looking for this to reverse back now. So just bought the dip there. Now looking for this to come right back up on Apple. I could add to this, right? But I'm going to stay small and then look to see if I can get through this first little risk, which is about $45. Get myself back into this spot where it's like 221.50s, and then I can start to really take a swing. Smaller and then getting bigger. Remember what I've talked about. And a lot of this is what? Is having the mentality that you have to have of starting small and then getting bigger. Let's see what happens here. The Qs coming back. That's what I want to see. I want to see the Qs start to ramp to the upside. I want to see NVIDIA lead. And then I want to see Apple catch fire, baby, back to the upside. Let's go. Let's go. Sound that alarm, team. Money Mitch is feeling it today and ready to get after it. NVIDIA will probably lead the upside move there. It's at 117.90s. So doesn't look too bad there. AMD could be another one that could catch fire off the VWAP. 149.17 could go to 150s. Doesn't look too bad at all to maybe make that move. Apple back into the green there for me. Back towards 221s. Wick down. You know how those wicks can be tricked for the downside. Now I'm stepping up here in Apple. I'm feeling it today, guys. I'm ready to take a shot here. Let's let it get back towards 221.50s, and then I'll take another ad. going for that 221.50s. And then from there, I can start to risk off of like kind of the 220.80s, which gives me the ability to tighten down and size up. Not trying to jump too quickly. If I jump too quickly here at the 221s, it's back down to 220.50s, and all I did was increase risk. Need to start seeing a turn trend. And how do I do that? I go to the 5-minute and I take a look there at the pattern, right? And I see, okay, I can double and triple bottom here at like kind of 220.90s. Really need to see this start to come back through the 221.50s because you start to turn the chart, right? Looking for the turn to actually happen first, and then I can get after it, right? So the turn doesn't really happen until you're out of this area, out of this box. All right, taking a look around, guys, trying to see what else is making a move. TNON, the pullback's there. So getting that opportunity on the 5-minute 9 EMA back down towards 8. Did it halt at that 8.11? It could have halted. Yeah, it halted on the downside. This is going to be a hard one to trade, guys. So it could reopen and maybe go to 734. So be careful on that one. I will say that there might be some better opportunities on a day like today. Tesla got to 231.45, so didn't get to out there at the 232s. Might be a little bit greedy on that first action, but I'm looking for a bigger move there. Tesla now pulling back a little bit there. We'll continue to watch to see if the Qs can make a nice little up move, but there's Tesla on the pullback, giving you opportunities to see if you want to come after that on the bull side. Looking to see if Apple can really make a move here. It's still rejecting the 9 EMA recovery. That's a negative sign. Looking to see if that can recover it. Right now, we got about what? I would say here, 1, down 1, up 1, down 2, up 2, down 3, up 3. Shouldn't really necessarily close below this level. We're getting a wick out, trying to stop out some traders here. And there it is. It stopped me out, guys. It triggered me real quickly there. It could have been a hunt. It could have been a hunt, but I'm not going to go ahead and hold through that. I'm looking for the reversal back to this level, and then I can get right back in it, right? So took the $48 hit, ready to get back in it. If it just needs to recover 221.10s. So not jumping in it here, because the truth is I just gave myself the opportunity there and it didn't want to recover the 9. So need to see that light blue line get recovered right now. If not, you could see further pullback. Right now, it's still further pullback. Need to see what happens there in the Qs. Qs just made a down attempt there. So might have to go protect that Tesla trade. Tesla trade is going to be pulling back a decent amount here. Now the question is it going to bounce off the VWAP? I'm looking to see if it bounces here. Definitely big range there in NVIDIA. So big range there back towards that 118. Tesla, of course, I was up like 200, close to 400 on that move towards the 231.50s. So looking to see if this could get bounced right back towards the 232s. Keeping a close eye on that Tesla. 229's bouncing there. Let's see if we can get the nice little up move. All right, so taking a small hit there in the day trade on Apple. Still willing to get back in Apple. Just got to keep a watch on it. So I'm just going to go back to it, guys. I got to set an alert there for Apple. All right, set the alert there at 228.78. So we are still getting downside action right here, and that's kind of stopping out some of the bulls. And it could be just deeper time frame pullbacks on the hourlies, and that's normal, right? Because what you're trying to do is wash out some of the bulls. And I'm seeing out there Marriott up, so leisure is getting a little bounce in this area, and that's actually a good sign there that leisure is getting a little bounce. That could actually be opportunities to the upside there. You saw American Airlines up. Alaska Airlines, we talked about that this morning. It gave some good guidance. It's pulling back here. give me a nice opportunity on a stock that gave some good news on a pullback. So we'll see if the market can finally catch some footing. Right now, it's just been on a slippage, and that's why the VIX's up towards 1250s, right? We talk about the VIX often here, but the VIX still trying to recover there. Yesterday, this washed out on me. I bought it at the 13s, eventually selling it at the 1260s. It went down to 1220s though, so glad I sold it at the 1260s and took the hit, right? So we'll see if we can get the bounce back now. Still up 110, so can use that cushion to take another trade here, but just got to keep a close eye on it. TNON should be opening up any moment here. It was at $8 on the pullback when it went to get halted. It's been closed for about 5 minutes, just about 5 minutes. It's going to reopen any second here. Let's see how that trades, and then I'm going to be watching to see what happens in the overall market. Tesla's back down to 227, so I'll continue to watch it. I'm really not scared on Tesla until it breaks 226, and then from there, I just got to break even if it does come back to me. But it's been a really, really nice setup here, so I'm going to keep battling with Tesla because if it bounces here back to 232s, I mean, you're just kind of giving up that big gain. So the truth is, it's just going to continue to watch it. The Qs could wash it out, right? There's always the overall market that could ruin the trade. Right now, it is ruining the trade. If the Qs were ripping to 470s right now, I think Tesla would be at like 235. It's just literally getting dragged by the market a little bit, and that's what I would need to be looking for. That comes back. If the Qs come back, I see Tesla up through that high. We'll see what happens. PDD, another one, very similar, right? That's what I need to be looking at on the Qs. I'm looking at those names that are strong to see if they can stay strong. Dollar Tree at the VWAP, very similar stock, right? Dollar Tree's actually been trying to push back after getting a hit off of their earnings. So taking a look here at ARM. ARM also pretty strong yesterday. Nice little rip higher. Has pulled back to the 137 area. That looks like a good area right now that's holding pretty well. So taking a look at that one right now, you can see it on the 5 minute. You can see the pattern here on ARM setting up. You see that nice bottoming action right now and a nice undercut and rally attempt here. So that actually looks really good there for undercut and rally approach here. So you want to see volume increase into the breakout towards 139, but I kind of like this on ARM as it starts to bounce back. And I never play ARM, but ARM looks interesting there. We'll see if it gets the lift above this, going towards the 140s and maybe 142. It's going to be all on the Qs, man. The Qs are trying to bounce there. Just can't bounce just yet. So I think that we got to be patient with the Qs and wait till the market kind of gives us that bounce back and drive above VWAP. Apple, of course, bouncing back now, back towards my entry. And I'm glad I got out of there because it would have been like kind of, let's say, $150 loss maybe. Went to 219.93. So maybe like 120 loss if I didn't cut it at the 45. So as this recovers, though, back towards 221s, I definitely want to be watching it. Here's the Qs coming back, Tesla coming back. So that actually makes me feel interesting on going back into Apple already, but I'm just looking to see if Apple can get strong here as the Qs come back. SoxL could be another way to trade this, but I'll tell you one thing, guys. I'm trying to stay away from SoxL and SoxS. I've traded these in the past and I've done decent, but as of late, I've done pretty bad on these, guys. SoxS was probably one of my worst trades last week, so I've been trying to avoid these leverage ones, right? And just look at more of these stocks themselves, like Apple and Tesla and Microsoft, right? Names like that. We'll see what happens there. PDD, can that make a new high? Names like that. Keeping an eye out there. The yin, what's up with Baba? Baba's on the pullback right now off the VWAP. Actually doesn't look like a bad looking chart on the day. Look at this 1 minute pattern. Nice little cut down, and you did that undercut move, right? So keep your eyes on that. There's Apple coming back there. So keeping an eye on Apple as we start to push back here. And I do want a piece of Apple if it can start to work back here. So doesn't look too bad. It's coming back towards the 221 area. And then from there, I got to hold off the same spot that I was in, right? The kind of the 220.45 area. That's not going to be a bad area to get after. So looking to see if we can reclaim here. We're up above the 90 MA. Remember how I told you guys that we were like the 90 MA was holding well. We just got that flip attempt. So I'm looking to see if we can get a retracement to that and hold around the 220.50 area. So as long as the 220.50 areas hold right now, I'm still liking Apple And I want to see the Qs now above VWAP, and it's getting there. It's right close to VWAP right now on the Qs. You can see how it's trying to reclaim the VWAP. That's that dotted red line on my screen right now. Let's see if this starts to push here towards the 469 and makes the next move here. So doesn't look too bad here. Let's go, team. Let's get it. All right, Apple pulling back there, giving me the attempt into this area, right? And so could jump into this spot right now and then risk off the bottom. That's another way to go about it, but just trying to see what happens here in the Qs, because the Qs are still heavy. They haven't led. Look at Tesla though. Tesla's right back towards 230.50, so feeling more than confident in that one. If anything, I could maybe add to the trade. Let's go do it, guys. I'm stepping up to the plate here on the swing trade side of things. I like this Apple pullback, but really want to see the Qs lead here. Don't want to miss the Apple trade, so just kicking a really close eye on it. But at the same time, I'm seeing Tesla ripping. Part of me just wants to add up here, but I'm just going to leave it. So I want to focus on this Apple trade. I don't want to miss this on the day trade side because I get focused on the swing. All right, here it is, guys. Let's see if the Qs want to make a move here. I'm really keeping a close eye on the Qs and trying to give it a signal, right? Trying to see if NVIDIA can give me a signal. NVIDIA is moving in a big range, about $2 range. So be careful with NVIDIA. Definitely, that thing's moving all around here. Nice recovery there off that 2250s, undercut it, and that's at a good level. Now I could risk off this kind of 40 area and take a shot here, about $30 of risk if I wanted to take it here. It's 9:45, so looking to see a change in trend towards the positive move towards 10 here. So we could still see a little bit of some struggle. It's about 9:56 though, almost 10 o'clock. Let's go ahead. Let's start taking a shot here. I'm trying to get a little bit of Apple already. It's at the 2280s, so could just rip through the 21s there. I'm going to try to get the 80s here. There's a pull back to 80s. All right, guys, just grabbed another little bit there. I grabbed some Apple 100 shares there, 2020.81. So going to go ahead and risk off that bottoming area around the 2020.39s. So let's do like 2020.35s here. Could risk off of that. That's not a bad area. Let's see if this can start to come back here. Qs still looking a little heavy. So want Tesla to kind of lead, drive it up there, and maybe start to see the Qs start to play a little catch up. Stock sales still pretty heavy there. So just watching the Qs here to make sure that they don't break through the lows, because if that breaks through the low, well, we might have to go here, guys. Let's see if in the next 15-minute candle, we can get a drive back there towards the 460s. Not the 460, the 469 area and 470s. Need to take 470s really to get that big lift today. There's a nice little push there in Apple. Let's see if we can get a nice little pullback here. Then a takeoff in the Qs. Continuing to watch the Qs here on the right-hand side to see what happens there. The Qs are struggling at the top end, and I just want, every time it gets back to the VWAP, it's kind of struggling right now. So I'm looking to see if we can take that move back. I look at the 5 minutes. It doesn't look too bad because we put in that big bar. We just can't break that big bar on the downside. Let's say 467 touch again. It's not a good sign for us. So keeping a really close eye. Would love to see a move right back through 469, back through this high here. We can start to really kind of push. Let's see if we can get it and really start to get that nice drive back towards the 470. Apple still holding in well there, guys. Just did a nice little pullback attempt. Now I'm looking to see if they can take the 221s. I can add on that 221s, and then I'll have to start to hold closer towards the 220.50s and 220.60s. But let's see if we can start to take the 221s now. There's 220.90s showing up there for just a second here. Let's see if we can really start to run towards that 221. There it goes. That's looking decent. 221.90s here. I'm going to wait for it to get above the 221s and then look for 221s or 220.90s on pullbacks. You see it tapped it there. If I jump in right now, and then it can just come right back towards 220.60s and stop me out. So I'm looking for like maybe an attempted bottoming one more time. But now what are you starting to see? Remember back here, it was 90 EMA above, 90 EMA above, 90 EMA below. Now I'm looking to see 90 EMA below, 90 EMA below. So you see it here. We attempted to break it down once and twice. We could attempt to break it down one last time and then really take off. There's the 221s, now 221.07s, looking for 220.90 pullback or 220.80 pullback here to add to this and then take the swing. Q's right back up there. So let's see if the Q's can take the lead here and make the move. See the Q's right back up. So boom, right back up there. Now I want to start to see the Q's if they can hold this VWAP pullback and 90 EMA pullback. Really don't want to see the Q's kind of break the 468 now on the 1 minute. Really would like to see that 469 and taken out. See how it rejected the move towards 469? That's not a good outlook on the 5 minute. It needs to hold now and then start to come back. If not, it could be a quick washout. So just keeping that in mind here. Try not to overextend an Apple too early. NVIDIA taking lead, guys, and that's another big movement there. That's why we're seeing the action there. So look at NVIDIA now towards 118.60. So big push there in NVIDIA. That helped. There's Apple now towards 221.26. So now starting to really take the lead there. And the Qs now holding the VWAP above. Now I want to see it take the 469. And from there, I can start adding on Apple. Let's see it take the 469 right now. 468s, 468.80s. Want to take the 469. If you don't, then I'll still stay patient. Apple, what are you going to do? NVIDIA slowing down a little bit and the Qs reject again, guys. I'm still a little bit concerned about that rejection on the Qs. We're not holding above VWAP. We're rejecting VWAP multiple times. We rejected it 1, 2, 3 times. We got to be careful for a quick washout, but I'm just keeping it on, just trying to stay trying to stay patient here, guys. Trying to stay patient. Patience is what pays. All right, TNON now towards 650. So TNON came down fast, guys. So just be careful out there. Now it's on the down hold area. I wouldn't touch that, guys. That's a little bit dangerous. It's up to you guys there, but man, that one's a tough one. All right, Apple still holding in here, still looking at the Qs, and they're just chopping around, guys. I'm not getting the lead in the Qs, and that's why I'm not just jumping. That's why I'm not adding too much right here. I want to add, but at the same time, if it's just in the green there for me and hanging out, you can't be mad about that. All right, that's a nice little lift there now towards 2140s, guys. So looking good, almost about $100 there on Apple, and we could get a nice little move back towards 223s. So don't need to overextend, right? 223s could easily be that $200 something winner. I do want to get another 100 shares here, but I'm also not going to overextend and just wait to see if the Qs can take the move, right? So if the Qs can take the move, we're in the green anyways, man. So let's see what happens there. 468, still the battle's on there. If the Qs make a hard downside move, I might have to just take the money and run in Apple and look to reassess. So just got to keep watching here, the Qs, to see that lead. And let's go to the sectors. I know that haven't been too focused on sectors today, but now we're starting to see what go into the green. We're starting to see basic materials in the green. We're starting to see different areas in the green, technology in the green, communication services. So that's areas that I see strength coming back. Healthcare, I see some strength coming back after really being weak. The weak areas of the day are going to be closer towards now your energy and healthcare from the open, but they're starting to bounce. That's good signs. We'll see if industrials get the bounce. Financials are washing a little bit. Real estate is washing, and so is utilities. Defensive are washing also, but that kind of makes sense. We'll see if technology can hold into the green. It just ticked red, and now there's only communication services in the green. I'm very, very closely watching that action on the Qs here. We could get a dump, and then we got to be careful. We can get a drive later in the day, so it doesn't need to be right now. right? And so I think that's very important. Just be careful here. The Q's already pulled back to the VWAP here and didn't make that breakout through the 469. It tapped it, rejected it. I'm a little concerned with that action. It needs lead. SPY is weaker. SPY is like not even near the VWAP. So it's technology or nothing right now. Either technology is going to hold this market or it could just come crashing back down. Whew. It's a hard one here today, guys. I'm trying my best not to mess with the Tesla trade because that's what's like kind of a little bit of mixed noise right now too. It's up at the 230s, but keeps rejecting the 231 breakout. And it's the Qs that just don't want to go. And if the Qs dump, I might have to get rid of that Tesla. But right now, it's just more based on what happens there and continuing to ride Apple, right? So you guys see it down here. I'm just watching the Qs and seeing what happens in Apple. Next layer to take in Apple, 221.60s. Q's making that hard downside move. That's what I'm a little bit concerned about, guys. It just hasn't gotten out of this area just yet. Do that 468. I'm probably just going to take the money and run an Apple and reassess, guys. Got to be quick here. Quick. All right, what's up out there? Rando says range setup today. I don't think we're in a range setup because yesterday we did such a monster move out of the range, even though we were in a range, right? So we'll see what happens there. Par down one reward, nothing on the list left. Roku got me slept with the stop loss. Hey, it happens, man. Nvidia looks like it's going to break the range. Yeah, it did break it. Now can it hold that range break? That's one thing to look at. Now the Q's back up above, made that little down move, and the Apple making a nice big move to the upside here. So now I'm going to add an Apple and hold break even, guys. So now I can go look at it, held that VWAP. Now I can step up here and try to get a nice little add. And then at that point, just hold break even on the rest. So looking to see if I can get like, let's say 2150s. Let's see if I can get to 2150s on the pullback here. And just watching the Qs to see if they hold 468. Because if they hold 468, they can start to make that move to the upside. Orders out there, guys. Now I'm looking at the Qs. So orders out there. It probably fill on the pullback here. But if the Qs make a hard to 468, well, I got to watch out and then just stay break even on the rest, right? I could run to the $70 right now. That's another option, right? But I'm looking to take the nice big win here if the Qs can take the 469. If it just washes here, then watch out because the reverse could be wicked. There it is, guys. Now I've already got an in. Now I'm up towards 221.16s, and I'm going to set a stop just below my entry. So if the Qs just wipe out here, I break even out like around, let's say, $3 of risk. Let's do $7 of risk here and really looking to make a nice big win, right? That's an easy way to look at it, guys. I just said it right now. And forget it. Let's see what happens. All right, guys, I'll show you guys a trade in Apple right next to it here. Oh, attach this. I have some charts already open around here. Where's the charts here? Apple. There it is. Sorry about that, guys. Trying to find the charts. They're somewhere around here. There it is, guys. All right, so here's Apple, guys. Here's the trade. You guys see me giving you guys all of the trade, and I think it's so important, right? Look at that 468, right? And I'm setting myself up for success, whether it works out or not. I think that's the important part here. Apple could pull back into that spot and then stop me out, but I gave myself the opportunity and I didn't add until I was deep into the green. So now it gives me the opportunity to risk off my level, $7 in risk, and look for a nice pushback. If the Qs take the 469 here, I'm golden. And I'm looking at a nice little, maybe potential $300 gain back through 223. So I think that's what's all about. Now it's kind of ways to look at this. And I could also just cancel the stop loss, right? I can just be ready to close the position if I see a wash through 468. And so that's what I'll do here. right? There's no reason to give my hand at the 221.16s. I know I need to get out if it goes back to that level. So even if this candle goes red, this opened up at 221.33s. If this candle goes red, it'll be a good sign that I need to take the money and run. So you can see 221.40s coming back. It's going to be prudent to take the money and run and not lose on this position now, but give me the position to maybe make the 300, right? That's all we can do as traders. Set yourself up. All right. Yeah. And definitely yesterday was one of the craziest days, I would have to say. And Palantir is definitely on the watch. That's one that I'll take a look at a little bit later. I got you. I'll definitely take a look at that one, Izzy. All right, guys. Here's the big breakdown or break up. Here it is, guys. I'm just watching for it. Now it's more of a matter of what will happen. So here's the attempt for the Qs, and you guys see it on the left-hand side. Will it take the 469 or will it reject it? Let's go. Let's go. There's 2160s there on Apple. Could take $100 here, but that's not what I'm looking for, guys. What I like about now is that it essentially gets into these points where I'm like kind of risk-free. Essentially risk-free. Why? Because if it just turns on me, I'm getting out. I'm not losing on this. I'm just looking for a bigger winner. And it gives me a position to do that on a day where I'm up 109, right? If I was down, I'd probably just take the 100 and get back to break even. Because sometimes it's important to just get back to break even and survive on a day like today where it's hard to see the action, right? So here's 468, 469 available to me now. Now will they take it? Now even below the VWAP on the Qs, I should probably take the money and run. But we'll see what happens if we can get this big breakout through the 469. It just tapped it. Tapping it is not breaking it. So let's see what happens here. All right, let's get it. Let's get it. Apple pulling back there. Could pull back. So just keep that in mind, right? Apple's right at the resistance. So around the 221.70s is a resistance that it needs to get through to get towards the 222s. The only way I see it getting through that is if these Qs start getting into that box. Can it get to that box? Not towards the red line, to the box and above. All right, Apple trying there. There's 469.20s on the Qs. That's going to help. Now it just needs to take it. Now take it. Big rip. There you go, 469.50s. That's actually good confirmation there for me in Apple. In a day where I really want to take a swing, I can add right here. I'm going to slow down and not ruin my average because I've already boosted my average up pretty strong because I waited a long time to add the 100 shares. So at this point, I'm just looking for the trade to ride now. Now it should be a breakout. Definitely not going to lose on this trade now. It should break out, and Tesla should break out at this point. So it's like should have, could have, would have, right? Well, now it's looking for conviction and confirmation. Now you're above these levels, and we shouldn't break through that VWAP at all. At least stay bullish. So at this point, I'm just looking for upside momentum to continue. Tesla, same thing. We'll look for this now to just break through the highs, not back through the VWAP, right? And so there I'm looking confident to take the nice bigger swing. And if I wanted to, I could look at the VIXY, right? I could go shorting the VIXY, trying to scalp this move back down. This is an opportunity too. But I'm not trying to overextend myself on the day. I'm just trying to make another nice trade on Apple. Another $300 gets me $1,000 on the week. And I'm just keep trying to rinse and repeat, guys. Let's play the game. All right, Qs, keep an eye on it. We don't want that back down through the 468, but if they just keep lifting, I could see Apple keep lifting, and that's what I'm going to keep watching, right? Even if Apple pulls back to the VWAP right now, 221.25s, that's something to look at. It could happen, and I'm slightly below that, so I got to be holding, but looking for the continued move now through the 222s. There's 222.70s, 222s coming up next. And look what's leading, guys, NVIDIA. So now I can go looking at that solar trade, right? CISQ starting to recover. Looks interesting. I'd like pullbacks to the VWAPs here. So let's say 1370s. Wouldn't mind taking Canadian Solar to try to make that breakout through the 14s. Could look at Run to see if that starts to bounce off that low, right? And so you're getting that nice low around the 1870s. Let's see if it goes back there to 1930s and continues to push. Look at the Qs, guys. Now 469 towards the 470s. This is the next layer it could take. 470s. Can it take that next layer? That's now going towards pre-market highs and now trying to push above pre-market highs. So if we could get above that layer, then we can start looking for pullbacks back down towards 469.50s for like kind of rebuilding and adding, right? So we could still get a pullback to the 9, but now I'm starting to look for that 9 on the 15 to hold, which is around the 469.30s. So you could still get a little pullback here, but nice little drive there to 470s. Apple there towards 222s, got there towards the 222s. Let's see if it wants to make a move towards the opening price, 222.50s. All right, just got to keep grinding this rally. Let's go. Let's go. All right, if we can take 470s here now, guys, I can start to raise up a stop loss in Apple, securing wins. So as it gets through $200, I'm going to start looking to secure that $200 and making sure that I can push the 300 and make 500 if possible, but also securing wins along the way. Let's go to Tesla here. Look at Tesla, guys. Of course, Tesla, we had an order out there to take some profits on the swing account towards 232s. I'm at the point where I could probably put a stop there if it starts to move higher. So I'm actually canceling that sell right now. I'm looking for a big lift here in Tesla. Let's go. Let's go. Tesla setting up here. Let's see if it really wants to make the run. Nice little rule of 3 here now coming into play with a little mini pullback on that 9 EMA. Let's see if it really wants to start taking a run here. You guys can see the Tesla setup. Now let's see if they really take it. So there's the trading pattern. Now I'm looking for that expansion move right back above this, which could be $5 move higher than this towards the 235s. And then, of course, somewhere around there, take some profits. I mean, at some point we got to pay ourselves, but looking really good in the swing trade today. Tesla approaching that break. Let's go. The Qs. Susie Q to the 470s. She goes. Going back to the day trade side of things. That's looking good there, guys. Apple now closer towards that 200. Now recovering 222.23s here. All right, guys, I just secured here 150. I didn't secure the 200 just yet, but I secured 150. What do? I put a stop loss, right? At this point, green on the trade, green in the day, 109. So what does this do? It gives me a green day. It's green, baby. It's green. Can't be mad. Let's go. Let's go. Let's get after it. You guys out there, smash the like. Really good trade today, getting after it, guys. Now up about 219s. Once we get to the 300 or through the open, the 222.50s, I can start to raise this stop loss and keep it grinding higher. I can also throw up a trade profit towards, like, let's say 500. If we make 500 on this trade, we are getting the hell out of here and celebrating the day, guys. So whenever I say 500, if I say 500, I usually take like $10 off of it. I'm like, stop being greedy, Mitch. $10 or even $20 is not going to be the end of the world. So we're looking for a move back towards like 223.60s on top outlook. And if I take a look here on the top outlook, I could also take a look towards kind of just the high here, the resistance touch, which could be a touch towards 223s. 223s is not a bad move, right? I'm just looking at ultimate. And as I start to move up there on the target profit, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be slowly moving up the stop loss. If I can get it to 223s, I'll put it at 222.50s. Right now I have it right at 222s. As it breaks 222.50s, going to 223s, I'll go ahead and I'll rise it up towards like 222.20s and just slowly move up at the stop loss to protect myself for downside action. As I'm in the green, I want to make sure I get paid. All right, guys, we'll see if the Qs can just continue to lift there at 470s. Now we've got to look for potential pullback areas for the Qs. Where's the pullback area? The pullback is prior resistance holding, now 470s. Now if that can hold, did you see the strength just continue to come in? Pullbacks could also be back to the 9, and it just did that pullback towards 469.50s. So I really wouldn't want to see even 469.50s break today. I'm looking to see that hold on the Qs and be a strong signal that you're getting the momentum back. Now we need to look to see what's also coming back here. I'm seeing energy up strong here, guys. Cyclicals up strong, and basic materials. Silver and gold doing well. Silver just ripping here, guys. 580s, 560s on AG and trying to push higher. This is not a bad looking trade here, as silver making a nice little push back on it. And look at the daily chart. This actually looks pretty decent there. Big rise up there. All right, guys, Apple now to 221.20s, and just looking at that to continue to rise. Can look around and see if I can maybe catch some opportunities. SoxL now, of course, taking off with that Q move as it's up there towards the 3188s, and doesn't look bad to maybe take the 32s again. I'm leaving that alone, though. Taking a look at some other ones here. GV just ripping to the moon here on the smaller names, guys. What a move on this one. 1, 2, 3 halts, though. Be careful there. That things have already made an insane move on the day. TNON trying to recover here, guys. It did get down there to the 6, but could hold down on the hourly levels. Hourly levels holding 660s. Could go right back up, right? And so on a day where it's just really positive momentum sometimes just starts climbing on each other, and you can start to see this TNON maybe make a big rip out here, guys. So I don't mind it on maybe a 50 share opportunity. Nothing big that I would take here, but it does look like it's trying to come back to the VWAP, $8, and come back fast. So for you penny stock traders or lower small cap traders, this is in play. Question is how to go about it, right? I'm in such a green position. It's almost smart for me not to open another position, right? Don't give up gains if I don't have to give them up, right? So right now I'm just trying to ride the Apple wave, but this TNON definitely looks interesting. TTP, have another competition, says Mr. T. We'll have one. I'm sure we will, man. Just stick around. There's always something else, right? And Halloween is coming up soon, so I'll be watching that. And shout outs to my Dolphins tonight. Gonna get after it. Thursday night football. Let's go. What's going on out there, team? I hope you guys are doing great. It's been a great day here. We're going to continue to battle. And what? Just going to continue to grind, baby, grind as the Qs are grinding now towards 470.50s and doing pretty well. Let's take a look at what's leading the Qs. AVGO. We talked about how that was at near VWAP. And would it make the up move through the move? There's a big push. That's why I also liked AMAT today. And I like names like that because it's starting to recover also too. Semiconductor equipment stocks is an area that I would definitely kind of keep an eye out for in technology. So if we look at technology, we look at what's leading today. Also software infrastructures, computer systems doing really well. What's doing well there, guys? Dell, big boy, leading that action to the upside. Let's take a look at what else is out there. QUBT, YIBO, that's nothing that I want to take a look at. Taking a look at here, is it ANET? ANET also going higher and a big rip to the upside. So technology that's doing strong, it's this area. And that means that SMCI getting a nice little rip to the upside. I can't take SMCI, but it is getting a nice little rip. That's one thing I'll say for certain. Q's slowing down there, and so is Apple. It could come back and get me, guys, and that's okay. If it comes back and gets me, hey, so be it. I'll take the 150 off here, and it could pull back easily right back to the VWAP, which is, let's say, 221.30s. And I'm not going to give up the gain, right? So got to look for the 90 EMA to hold there. It just held there, the 222.09, and rejected it, right? So below 222s, I can probably take the money and run. So right there, I'm at 221.90s right now. I'm still giving myself 10 cents off of that level. So that's where I'd get cut, right? below this kind of 222s towards the 221.90s, I get cut out. But if it holds the 90 MA, it still gives me the opportunity to grind this higher. So let's see if Apple can just keep getting the buyers to step up, and I take a big trade in Apple today. Let's go. Let's go, traders. It's a good one today, guys. Let's go. Let's get that money, man. About to say forget the monetization today. About to start playing some good music. It was a good day. Let's go. Top in action there, guys, in the queues. So pullbacks coming in here now. Let's see if they buy that pullback and continue the grind higher. Nvidia is one name to also keep on watch, right? Can that just continue to grind? Look at the 90 MA. 90 MA recovery, looking for that to hold the same way that we looked at it to change in Apple, right? The 90 MA, it was above. Finally, it started to break down below it and holding on the pullbacks. We've held the pullbacks now once, twice, 3, 4 times. Wouldn't want to see it break that 90 MA again, but there's the momentum right back to the upside, and that's why you stick in it now. Now as it lifts towards, like, let's say 250s on the gain, I'm still looking to see this kind of push higher, but once it starts to push there towards like the next layer is going to be, you can look at it on the hourly level, puts us in the middle right now. Where's the next push? 222.70s. Once we get towards that 222.70s, the 223s comes into play, and I can start to lift off the stop towards like this area right now, this 222.30s, and I'll be up about 200. Securing that 200 is what I'm looking for on the next step up. Tesla still battling out there, guys. It's still stuck in this 15-minute pattern. So look for those 15-minute lows to continue the pattern, which is what? A higher low pattern. So can't break the 228s on Tesla. If that breaks, be careful. You could get a further pullback. Let's go. TNON. How'd that one do? Holding up right now at the 730s, 740s. We'll see if that one gets the lift again. One that didn't get the lift is that MNPR. That thing came back down to 4 today. What's up out there, chat? You're a little quiet today, right? I thought you guys would be buzzing. Market's looking great. What's going on out there, traders? All right, let's keep it going, guys. It's been a great one. And of course, we're going to take a look to see what happens in Tesla, as that's the big call of the day. We'll see if that can keep pushing. Here's the Qs. Susie Q. Let's go, Susie. Holds to pull back through the 9. Now gets the next drive. Let's go, Apple. Let's get it, Apple. Let's get to that next level here. Go to 222.70s. Let's get it. Stocks out continuing, Nvidia continuing, so it looks pretty decent out there. Not a bad day so far, guys. Keep getting after it. Taking a look at the Benzinga Pro scanners out there to see what's moving on the intraday. Come on, Benzinga. Gotta refresh that bad boy. All right, seeing top leading movers out there. AAOI having a decent day there, guys. AVGO, AI, C3AI with a nice move there. So keep an eye on it, guys. We'll see what happens. There's a little pullback there. Looking to see if Apple gets me out. It's pretty close to getting me out, guys. It just did another attempt towards the 22s, and it held it. So now I know for sure below that 222s, I want to out anyways. So it'll either be 150 or 300 today. Let's see what we get. Can we get up there towards that 300? Start securing 250s, 300. Could run to 200 right now. That's also an opportunity, but it's about $50 difference. It's not going to be much difference there. Some people like to sell into that. I'm looking for a bigger run move. Now the only question is, can the Qs just continue to chug along? The Qs need to just keep going. Susie Q, keep it going. Let's go. I don't know why I call it Susie Q, but I'll tell you one thing. I don't think I'll ever change. Let's go, Qs. 470 50s. The battle's on out there, guys. SPY is actually up there also. I haven't really been paying attention to the SPY, but it's been doing pretty decent there. Of course, led by Nvidia's action. Tesla holding in there, still looking well on Tesla. So just continuing to battle there. Q's slowing down though. That's one thing that's for certain. So I'm looking to see if we get the next kind of shift back higher. So you see how it's slowing down here at the 1030. That's not a good sign. We're looking for that next little lift off here. Don't want to see that quick pullback like we saw yesterday. And then all of a sudden we want to play the bottom end of the range. I'm not sticking around for that. A lot of pullback here, opportunities here too. So I'm just looking to see if the Qs can make that next little breakout here. Apple could stop me out at any moment here, guys. So there's the pullback stop out opportunity. Could come and hunt me right now. I put it towards 221.88, so I'm giving up $5 more just to give it a couple of pennies in case the spread widens out by, like, let's say 5 or 10 cents, and then all of a sudden I get caught on it. So what I'm doing is I'm giving myself an opportunity on the breakdown moment here. So to give myself a couple more pennies, that just cost me $5. So I'll $5 is fine. That can cost me $5 to see if the Qs can make the break above the 470.70 here. Because if it breaks out through there and it goes to like 471, we'll continue to rock and roll on Apple. So that's what I want to do. I want to give myself the opportunity there to stay in the trade right now in Apple. There's 222s, 15s. It gives me the opportunity to wait for this move in the Qs to 471. Let's see if it wants to do it. Qs, you want to take it? Woohoo! Rejection there. And Tesla rejected the big break through the 230s there. So I'm going to continue to watch that, but that's not a good sign that it kind of rejected that big breakout right there. Rejection there. It's not a good sign there, guys. Let's see what happens here, but I don't know about the Qs, guys. It's starting to get heavy. Now what do I see on the 1 minute here? I see move up, right? Up 1, down 1. Up 2, down 2, up 3, down 3. Really needs to kind of hold on to this layer here. If not, the reversal could come in on the 1 minute. Looking for the push towards the 471s. Really, that's the next layer that can take, that Apple can just keep pushing off of. So looking to see if that can take that next level here. Qs, let's go. Let's go to 471. Another slowdown at that 480s, 470-80s. So you see how it keeps slowing down at the top end of the range. That's not good. It could pull back easily towards this 469.70s on the 5 minute. So looking to see if this trend line can also hold. If you do that on the 5 minute, you could also draw that. Like it should kind of hold a trend line on its way back to the upside there. Easy attempts back down towards 470. Let's go. You want to hold the momentum? You just want to rip out? It's right here. It's right now. Let's see it. Right here. Right now. What's up out there, guys? Talk to me. Keep me awake. Our hands are numb because of sitting on it. Why sitting on it, Vic? Are you looking for downside? Is that what it is? What do you guys think? Do you guys expect downside to come back into the market? I know I'm betting to the upside, and I'm not trying to be like against the bears or something. You guys know I'm usually with the bears, but today I'm just looking at the upside. But is that what you guys are looking at? There's the move towards 471s if it wants to take it. 470-80s, 470-90s. Apple back up there. Let's go, Apple. Let's get the move. 222.20s. Let's run the 223s. Let's get back to the opening price. Tesla, you want to take 230s? You got your shot. Let's go. There's the Qs. Susie Q, 471s coming fast. Let's see if we get there. We hit 490s, 470-90s, 470-99, 471. 470.90, 471 on the offer. Didn't take it though. There's some size there. Let's see if they take the next level here. 471. Will they take it through? There it is. It's through it. Now I want to see if Apple can just make a quick move towards 223s. There we go. Starting to push there. Tesla looking good, guys. Tesla's looking good. Tesla's been in a sideways for so long. Do I dare add to it on the swing? Let's go take a look, guys. Part of me wants to add here. Part of me does want to add, I'll tell you that much. I'll add a measly 10 shares here, guys. A measly 10 shares. All right, I got the move back below that kind of the 228s. I just added a little bit there. Of course, got to hold kind of break even on the rest of this trade here. Might have got out on that Apple. Yeah, I just took the profits there on Apple. It was a quick down move there, guys. Quick down move here, guys. Watching some move out here. I'm going to definitely secure about $100 here in Tesla because Tesla could easily come back to the 226 and then I just wasted all my time there, right? So I want to make sure that I secure at least $100 on this Tesla trade. And it is pulling back there. Could cut me out. There it is. Took the money and ran, guys. That's too fast of a down action move to stay in the trade there. And we're getting this move right back down. Apple took the money and ran, and I was only able to get 138. What a downside action move here, guys. We're getting a shake here, guys. The same thing that we got yesterday on the upside, we're getting now to the downside. So be careful out there, traders. NVIDIA down fast there, guys. Something happened here. It was fast, guys. That was wicked on the Qs from 471 all the way to 468. Wicked move. Wicked, guys. Let's go take a look to see if there's news out there that's coming in, and that's why this is doing it. But man, this is a quick move here, guys. And watch here as this look. S&P ticks higher, goes to fourth straight win. Everything looking great here in the kind of the reports out there in the news. Watch how this changes. Watch how they're going to start saying that things are looking ugly. I always love the media, man, and how quickly they change from positive to negative, and they just put out a new narrative out there. So looking at it right now to see where this is going to go. Wow, what a move there, guys. And I had the chance there for Apple to really kind of take off there, and it just didn't want to do it. It was up there to 222.40s, looking like it was going to break out towards the 222.50s. And quick move down. That's why you protect yourself, guys. And could this just be a VWAP pullback opportunity? Yes, but I don't catch falling knives. That's a knife. That's a knife thrown at me, and they're like, "Do you want to catch it?" And I'm like, "No, thank you. I'm sorry. I don't catch knives here. Get that knife out of the way, man." They threw that thing at me, and I said, "Gotta move fast, guys. Gotta move fast." That's the market for you guys. So definitely hard downside action. And could I miss my Tesla move because of this? Yes, I could maybe get out, and maybe I pushed it too much on Tesla today. Should have maybe taken the 231s. And that's all great, guys. I can always get back into the trade, can always swing again. Can use that $100 to take some risk on Tesla later in the day. But if the Qs just start crumbling here, I mean, I don't see how Tesla holds, right? So it's very difficult move there that you guys got. And it could have been big buyers, big buyers just start stepping up as it starts to lift there. But I'm a little bit concerned with that. And so with that being said, what am I going to do? I'm going to stay on the sideline now, guys. Not a bad day. 247, bouncing back. Yesterday took about a $200 hit. So just keeping myself in the green, continuing to move forward in the right direction. That's what it's all about here, guys. So up about close to 800 on the week. Need to keep pushing. But right now, kind of got that mixed noise after that quick downside. And the Qs are coming back here to the 470s. But that's a little bit too much risk now. It could just be downside leak. VIXI took a quick little pop on that back to 233s. We'll see what happens now. I got to keep watching to see what the change is now, because it's going to be a little bit of a battle here. So industrials are going higher. That's one that I'd take a look at. Take a look. Deere is starting to climb back there. XLI made a quick move as that down move came in. XLI made a quick move to the upside. So I'd keep a watch to see what is getting the bounce there. Like financial services got a bounce today, of course. JPM is still red, but let's see if this starts to bounce back and starts to actually make an up move. I know that I'm bearish on the banks, but it's going to be dependent on what happens here now. The Qs are doing pretty well, but will they just start to fade? It very much could. Yesterday's move right back to the upside. Now do they just start to crumble up here at the top? It could, right? And that's one thing that I'm keeping in mind. So at that point, what do I got to do? I got to sit on the sideline now, guys. There's really not much for me to do here, guys, at this point. Really nice trade today in Apple. Got to give myself a little bit of some daps because I think I played it really well and played it well with some different names out there. Could have taken maybe a little bit more in that Apple, maybe taking the 200 and taking another 70 here today. But the truth is, I was looking for that big breakout, which could have got me a nice like 500 winner in Apple today. But all the Qs needed to do was just keep on their merry ways. And right now, it's on the pullback. So got to be careful out there, traders. And we'll see what happens a little bit later today, right? It's 10:40s. I'll stick around for like another 10 minutes just to see what happens. But I feel like we're in the chop zone right now. So trying my best not to trade too much in this chop zone. TNON. One that I was looking at for potential big rip back to the upside. Just went back down towards that 720s, has made a nice little pattern here, right? So I kind of like the way that this is patterning out and now can make a nice little lift off, right? So it did do a nice little pullback, then got out of this pattern, now is in the bullish pattern and holding the pullbacks. The risk is 720s right now. It's at 760s, could take 8 at any moment here. So you got to understand the risk. The risk could easily be about 40 cents there. So understanding that, you got to know what size you want to go according to that. But it's looking interesting here. TNON starting to climb back. I'm not taking it because I'm not going to just go put some other risk out there right now. But could this go back through 8 and then eventually rip towards 9? I could see that being into play. Just keep your eyes on TNON. We'll see if it gets another rip. Q's still looking heavy out there now. That's a really tough one. And for Tesla, it still looks actually okay on the hourly levels. I would like to see it go back to 226 and then I can rebuy that and risk maybe off the 225s today. So at some point, I think Tesla could go back to that 226. If it does go back to that 226, I'll keep a watch on it. I'll even set an alert there. But you know, I don't want to be jumping up here at the 227s. It didn't really depend on the Qs. The Qs came down so fast there that I just didn't want to partake in the rally anymore. And does it mean that the rally's broken? No, the 15 minutes and the VWAP held well there at 469, but it was just too fast for me to stay in it. We'll see what happens if the Qs recover right back. All right, guys, smash it up out there. Up till the FOMC meeting, yeah, I could see that definitely happening. So be careful out there, guys. It's going to be back and forth now. Q's just chomping around, and Tesla would be looking for pullbacks. But for right now, it's definitely, they just stopped out some of the bulls with that big candle. And it could have been a big volume that came in. And it seems like it was some big volume. Could have been bigger buyers on, let's say, institutional basis that knocked it down there, right? So you just got to be careful now. And I feel like it's just not what I want to go after. This TNON does look interesting. We'll see what happens on this one. If I did take this trade on this one, I would take it very, very tiny and then look for a big, big win. That's the only way I could do this. Maybe risk about 20 bucks here and then take the trade off of 7, right? Like, you know, I could do it just for the, since I'm here and I'm stuck till like at least 11, I'm here and going to trade at least a little bit. I might take the trade on this, but it'd be about 50 shares. And then you'd have to look for a pop back through the 760s and 8s, right? So the reason why I say 50 shares is that still keeps my risk to about 20 bucks here. So it all depends on how you want to go about it, but I can see this up 1, down 1, up 2, down 2, up 3, down 3, trying to hold this right now, and then could make a move back through the 750s, 760s. Here's 730s available to me if I want to take the shot there. So it's just more about matter if I want to take the move there. You can see it kind of bouncing. It doesn't look bad. It really doesn't. Just more along, don't want to risk the 20 bucks. What do you guys say? What do you guys say? I see you guys fell asleep on me in the chat. Put a 1 if you guys think you guys like this setup. Put a 1. Put a 2 if you guys think you don't like the TNON setup. I'll let the trade be decided by the chat out there. What's the votes? What's the votes? You guys choose it out there today. What are you guys thinking? TNON. Come on, wake up out there. I think the chat fell asleep on me a little bit today. Gotta wake them up. Wake up, wake up. Let's go. What's up, guys? There's trading. He threw up a 1. He said go for it. He said let's do it. Let's do it. Do it. Do it. All right, let's do it, guys. All right, just took their 50 shares there. Not going to go big here, but take the 50 shares. Take the trade on here. I'm going to risk off kind of the 702 area. Well, let's risk off the $7. 1950s in risk here. Not much in risk, guys, but just going to go ahead and take the trade just to take the trade, right? Set up the trade, look for the trade, and really it's a small one, looking for a big pop to 9, which could still get us in like $100 if it pops back to 940s. So I'll look for a nice big push there, and then look to see what happens on this setup, right? So it's a nice little setup. The question is, will it work, right? So there's the pullback to the 7s. Could easily stop me out at 7 on the pullback, right? You're looking for these lows to hold and the move come fast to 760. Another way to do this too is once it goes back through 8, I can add, but only at 8. Because why? Because that shakes all this area the left-hand side and you're back through this level. So going back through this, you start to go for like a trend line approach, and then it could go back through 8, 9, 10. And so there's your outlook there, right? So we'll see if we get the big push here back to 775, 8 and higher. TNON. Another thing is I made a good amount on this in this morning, right? So made about what 180 on this morning. So all right, let's keep it going, guys. What's up out there? What are you guys taking a look at? Vic said, I already did 2 trades, so I don't want to give it back. And I agree. I don't want to give back too much today, so I'll risk $20 more. Doesn't seem like things are working out right now. The Qs are just hanging out. All right, there's it back close towards my entry. Let's see if it takes the 740s, goes to 8, and then just shoots off there. Of course, TNON could make a nice little rip back towards the highs. If I look at the 15-minute chart and I draw this back and I see the trend lines and I see where the stock has gone in the past, there's no reason to say that it can't go back to 980. So we'll see if it gets back up there and really starts to make a move. Back through 8 is when I will go ahead and take a look at it to maybe add another, let's say 50 shares, and then just hold the rest break even for a nice big win if it really wants to start running here. It's a nice little bottoming on the 1 minute right now off of that 721. So essentially I could raise my stop to like 710 if I wanted to. If I was just a little tighter here, but really looking for 750s to show up quickly, and then it just runs. So look, I'm looking for 750s here on the offer, and then really quickly filling there at the bottom with some big sizing. So we'll see if we get it there. You can see some buys lately have gone through around the 30s. So that's the area to kind of look for. There's 36 showing up recently with a nice little buy. Let's see what happens when it gets to that 36 and then really starts to push. Stopping up right here at the 734s by 732s. There's a order at 722s for 2,000 shares. So just got to keep that in mind. But it's just playing between the range right now. Here's the 740s coming up real quickly here, guys. So this is what we wanted to see. Now we want to see it get taken and go to the 750s. 750s is right here on the offer. Now it starts to show up there. There's the 750s. Hit for a second there. Didn't get really taken too much on the offer size. So I'm looking to see if maybe it could just start to get the nice little push here. I'm looking for 750s to show up on the time and sales here on the bottom right. Now 750s by 752s. Now we're starting to get that push there. Now 760s starts to be the next level to look at. 760s, can we take it and start to get back through this trend line? This 1 minute pattern gets me through this trend line and then starts going towards like 788s. Let's see if it really wants to ride here and go for a big run. Once it gets towards that 8, I can look to see if maybe I get that ad for another 50 shares and then really go for the win. Qs just still chomping around, and this is what I was a little bit concerned of on the Qs. It's just literally now chopping around out there, and so you don't know which way it's going to go. It's kind of like cut down, stay in the middle, cut down, stay in the middle, and it could just be a fade from here on. So just a little bit too concerning on that action. So that's why I'm leaving the other trades alone, like the technology and all that alone. I'm just taking this trade here based on technical setup. So of course, now we get this attempt here. Now that we've had what, 1, 2, 3 attempts, 4 attempts to break out through the high here at the 750s. That's it. It should break out there. Shouldn't break down back through the 720s. So at this point, it's either break out or break down. There's a 750 showing up there, 755s, 760s close to it, and it rejects right there at the 757. So look to see if you get through the 760 seller here. About 1,200 shares there, 1,100 shares, nothing crazy there either. So looking to see if we can just blow through that 760, and then we really should start to see momentum around the 770s and 780s. Rejection there to the 750s tells me that you could just come really quickly back to the 720s now. It's trying to make the breakout look. Can't do it just yet. That's why you don't go too big on this really quickly. You're looking to increase size as it starts to work. You also got a bearish pattern on a deeper time frame back through this level. So you could easily come right back through this and just start to cut down. So that's the 720s. We got that attempt to break out. It failed. That's not what we wanted to see. Now it needs to quickly recover through that 750s. If not, the breakdown through 7 is easily available here. And if I do get cut out, take the $20 hit. It'll be $20 hit, guys. That's nothing. Taking the shot here on a bigger reward than the risk. The risk is very tiny here. The reward is definitely available. All right, we'll see what happens in the Qs there. The Qs are just chomping around off this 469, 470s, rejecting. We'll see what happens there. VIX's starting to come back here, guys. So if you feel like we're just going to have like this big breakdown now, the VIX could be in play, right? It could be in play right back towards the 1250s. Really, this is not a bad area to maybe take a trade, but I just don't feel the downside and upside right now. It's kind of a mixed noise. So I need to let the market play out a little bit. Today, I was feeling pretty bullish on that Tesla move, and it just didn't continue. So I did take the $100 on the swing trade, but it could have been easily like a $500, $600, $700 trade on Tesla. Another thing that I could look at is getting back into VSCO, right? It's back towards 22s. But if we really have a red day, this could also take another hit. So just taking a look at it today, guys, if I start to really leak or the market really leaks, I can look back at VSCO. It's interesting for me, but I would be in the red if I didn't take the green from this morning swing trade. So that's just something to think about, right? The Qs are still just chomping around. TNON just still chomping around also. So not going anywhere. All right, guys, it's 10:53s. I'm going to start to wrap it up here in just a second. There's the move now going to the 745s and TNON. Now let's see if they take it through the 750s and it really starts to run here. Good looking levels as it starts to break there. The 755s looking strong here on that little quick pop. Now can it really get going? I want to see the 790s. Let's go. You use any scanners on TC2000? I sometimes use them. I mean, I don't use too much scanners on TC. I'm just using more the sector index. That's what helps me. But do I have scans for? Yeah, I do have scans. I have ones that are for like MACD crossovers, different things like that on TC. Good question there in the chat. All right. 750s hits there for a second, went right back towards the 55s, looking to see if it can take the 760s and really start to grind higher now on this TNON. It has the opportunity to go for the move. Question is, will it do it now? There's 760s. Volume started to come in there. Repeat seller at that 760s. You need to take them out. You need to grind back towards the 780s real quick. 760s right here. And you reject the 760s, right? Like it's just showing up and then it goes bye-bye. All right, just canceled my stop. Ready to put it back at $7, but just trying to give the pressure off to reveal the hands there at 7. And another rejection of 760s puts me on watch. Easily can go back to 7, so I got to drop the stop again, guys. So it's spreading out here, guys. It might just come and get me and then go right back up, but I'm not going to let that happen either, right? I'm going to have my stop ready just in case it washes me out. There's the washout. So you see the washout there. It could recover 7 and then just go right back up. But if you get caught there, you don't want to get caught there, right? $19 loss there. Really measured play there, looking for a big breakout and just didn't get it. We know how these like to make a move off the bottom and could have easily been back at 9, right? And this could be a washout trade, right? Where it's just trying to wash you out and then it comes right back up. But I'm not hanging out for that, guys. All right, guys, 17 tickets done for the day, up 226. Going to take it and run, guys. Not a bad day at all. Bounce back on the day. Bounce back on the week, right? So had a really green Monday, a green Tuesday, red Wednesday, green Thursday. Let's go. 3 green days done for the week. Ready to continue pushing, and we'll continue getting after it tomorrow, like always, guys, right here. And definitely root for the Dolphins tonight. Let's go, Dolphins. We'll see what happens, guys. Like always, keep battling with me right here on Trade the Pool. We got a lot more to talk about. And like always, guys, check out me on Twitter, always talking about different moves that I'm looking at. And you guys can catch the playbook. The playbook, not a bad playbook today. We actually were able to make money on what? On 2 of the trades today. We were able to make money on that Tesla long. We were able to make money on that Apple long. So we'll see what happens on CSIQ. What will happen to that one? Keep your eyes on that, guys. Let me see how it's trading right now. CSIQ at 1390s, hanging out, and could break the 14. So essentially, hey, that's in the green also. So all 3 were in the green. The question is, what did you get after? Let me know, guys. What do you guys appreciate of this stream, or what do you want to see more of? Definitely reach out to me. We'll see you guys next time right here. I hope you guys enjoyed the action. It was a great day and was able to stay focused, stay calm. Remember when the Qs were coming down, we watched that Qs turn around with Apple and we're able to make some good profits on Apple and set up for a bigger win. That's what I've been doing, setting up for the win. And if I don't get it, at least taking some profits and continuing going in the right direction. We'll see you back right here on Trade the Pool. Keep battling out there, traders. There's not one way. And like always, I'll be here to battle with you.